Okay, we're live. Here we are, another Saturday Night Live, May 30th, 2020. And we have a cooler day here in Toronto, Greater Toronto area for the next couple of days. This is something that's been happening for many years. I used to plant, everybody usually plants at the May long weekend, which is the May 2-4 weekend, we call it, Victoria Day. It's like the second or last week of May. And people always plant there, but every time I did that, we always got a frost the week after.
-2 last night.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Really?
Just last night, yeah.
Every single freaking year.
The big blankets are out, big blankets covered in.
So, if you were feeding your plants GANs, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. So this year we planted earlier, and I didn't see anything get hurt by last night's cold. So make your GANs. There was tests years ago that I think it was in China. They were doing some plants, some tests and stuff, and there was stuff growing. There was frost all over the place. So, what do plants need? Do they need matter, or do they need fields? Well, the answer is in plain sight. They don't have mouths, so.
Lucky them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be tempted for eating, but hey, there's carnivorous plants,
Yeah.
And it's awesome. But the plant world is a fascinating world, and we can learn a lot by just paying attention to plants. I know Steve, he loves gardening. He's in his garden, and
basically, yes, exactly. We need to pay attention to plants, to all of nature, that's important to cultivate and motivate you. It's the first year ever I start to plant flowers in my apartment.
Nice.
It's so nice. I even can show you now. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. You get the energy, you see them grow.
Yeah, that's amazing, because spending about 3 months, right? 3 months, and I see need to something to breathe. This fern I put some, yes, and just like I said, need to purify air.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's I know now it's charcoal is very popular, to in the bags. They put in the charcoal in the bags and purifying an air just to sell online with the cleaning air in the apartment out inside. So I just said myself, I try to put plants in my apartment, so it's going to be more.
Yeah, you can, there's some plants that do better jobs at cleaning the air than others. You can do a Google search or a Ducky Do search. I don't use Google anymore.
Yeah.
I've given up on Google.
Yeah.
All these big corporations need to go. It's it's like, look what's happened. The essential businesses are all the big corps, and they've just gotten richer and richer in just the last few months. It's just
by a lot.
It's sickening what's going on. So
$500 billion a lot.
Yeah. It's massive. They went up billions of dollars, these guys. So anyway, what's going on with everybody? Everybody doing all right? We have Luba, Aranka, Steve, John, Seta, and Ben, and myself. And it's an awesome day. Did you see that, what they did in one of the Toronto parks? They made the circles?
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
My cousin just made a post showing the satanic circles. These guys are totally Luciferian, and everything they do,
Oh,
all the dates they use,
yeah.
they go through the astrologers. These guys are total Luciferians, and everything they do. It's just like, wow. Okay, putting it right in our faces more and more. But I like what Trump did. He's really getting strong. Like I'm not political or anything, but if somebody's doing something good, I don't care who it is. If it's something good and positive, you know, we got to support that. And no matter who these leaders are, we really need to support and elevate their souls, no matter how rotten to the core they are. Because when we elevate their souls in the order of fields, we're sending a message from soul to soul, and that message gets driven down to their physicality. And the more we do that, the more uncomfortable they will be living in their physicality if they don't move to peace, balance, correct conduct. A lot of them will end up in prison. I can see that with what's going on, because once you start boiling things, the scum always comes to the surface, and that's what's happening right now. We see we see everything coming up to the surface. Nothing can be hidden anymore. So it's all wonderful, and let's keep focusing on sending more and more plaf to all the world leaders and everyone else on this planet, so that humanity can move in that and thrive in that peace, balance, correct conduct field strength. Everything else that we've done up to this point didn't work. Look at the planet. Look at the state where humans are. We're freaking wearing masks. People are wearing masks, being locked up. Free people. If people are not sick, it's just, well, whatever. Does anybody want to share what's going on in their lives besides me?
Just broke 66-hour drive.
Awesome.
I did the Friday's yoga class, 36 hours drive. That was crazy. That was crazy.
How was the energy?
Through the roof. It's incredible. Like 3 hours of sleep. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You're full of shit, Steve.
The sun got to me today, I'll tell you, to be honest with you. That's why I broke it. I was going to keep going, but I haven't been out in the sun like I was today. It was a beautiful day here.
You missed that. I said you're full of shit.
I heard it.
I heard it. You just ignored it. I know. I'm just kidding. If only people would go through the experiences, then they know what we're talking about.
I was out planting all day. I was planting, and I'm removing more of my grass in the backyard and planting vegetables.
Awesome.
By the time I'm done, I'll have no grass left.
Yeah, I was doing some work out in the garden as well all day today. Stuff I ran I want to get done, and so yeah, it was a good day. Being outside in the garden is always a good day. When you connect with the earth and the plants, it's awesome. And we encourage everybody can try and do something. Even if I have an apartment, plant in pots.
Yeah.
Have some plants in the house. It's going to be awesome. Hello, Lisa, and Ivorish. How do you pronounce your name? Ivorish.
It's Ivy Rauch.
Ivy Rauch. So your first name is Ivy?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's all one.
Oh, yeah. Rauch is my last name.
How you doing, Ivy?
Hey, Steve.
Good.
Hey, Steve. Did the sun dry you out, or was it something else that made you break because of the sun?
Something wanted to come out. Something needed releasing. Really, what it was. The sun just amplified it a little bit.
So you mean like you just had to go?
No, something.
What do you mean?
Something wanted to come out. Something needed released. I don't know how to explain it.
You get to once you do a lot of fast, you get to understand how the body functions.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if it was physical, because I broke, per protocol, and then did the plasma a couple hours later, and then did the Kalima a couple hours after that. And some real Well, if you ask my wife, it was pretty nasty, so. I can't smell it anymore. I don't know what it smells like anymore. It doesn't even faze me.
Yeah.
Doesn't faze me at all. I think it was more emotional because the yoga is really starting to stir the emotion. Big time. Like nothing ever has in my life.
Well, you're doing many things.
Yeah. Well, I make the change and then I see a huge change. So I don't know exactly what's contributing. Again, everything's contributing for sure.
Yeah.
But the yoga was a big change 2 months ago, and just if nobody, I can't say enough about that. I can't say enough about it. Such a great spiritual practice.
Are you doing meditation also, or is it?
I am
Yeah.
every practice,
Yeah.
pre and post.
Right. Okay.
And I got an awesome teacher. I'll tell you, she's a healer. Is what she is. She administers my colonics. She owns the colonic place I go to. Just the minute I walked in that business of hers last January, there was just a freaking, I mean, it's never happened, and just an instant connection, with her. And we're still working together 15, 16 months later. It's great.
That's so cool.
Very seldom, at least in my experience, very seldom have I ever come across people that I was able to make that kind of connection with that fast. It's rare.
Yesterday, I had a yoga experience too with a teacher, and it's somebody I knew from a social media site, and they were going to be in town, they said, and so I said, all right, I'd like to get a yoga lesson for me and my kids together because we're always together. And we went to a park, and it was cool. It was really sunny, really warm. We got a good sweat on, and it was a total experience, and it was really neat. Also, since I've followed his learning experience online on social media, and then getting to meet him in person, and then hearing him say things, having him do things with my body or support me in certain ways, it was really interesting. And at the end, I was in that corpse pose, and oh my gosh, it was just bliss after moving through all those motions. We did the 5 Tibetan rites too beforehand also. So it was really lovely. It was very transformative. And it was sort of it was exactly what I didn't get from just doing some of the videos I've picked out, but it's a good goal.
We started meeting one-on-one last week. I mean, in person, originally it was over Zoom, which was okay, but nothing like in person one-on-one.
Yeah.
The energy, I mean, I walked into her studio Friday and it's just total, I mean, the outside just shut right off. Everything just shut off. Everything came within. The minute I crossed the threshold.
It's incredible.
Really cool.
I felt that
And
yesterday.
it feeds the lifestyle. Like, I mean, it's so in sync with master fasting. At least for me, it is.
Yoga's awesome.
Yes, it is.
The 5 Tibetan rites, I do those too every day.
Mm-hmm.
Before a little bit of yoga. It's a good little routine. If you don't have any time, just do the 5 Tibetan rites.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, Gina, you practicing master fasting system, right? And how you doing? How you do? How's you do greatest experience in the fasting?
Me?
Yes.
I guess I practice it. This is what we've been doing here for many, many years. I've been fasting.
Yeah, and usually how long do you fasting? Like, what's the endurance you fasting? A week, or it depends like how you feel, what you needed.
It's on a week-to-week basis. What I do is, how long you been on the page?
Um,
Uba, how long have you been in the group?
um, no, I'm recently on a group, but I'm really know what is it. But I do, but I start to learning about fasting when I was 16. And actually since 16 I do something practicing alternative. My approach is holistic medicine, and I actually always in health, in natural health. And fasting is actually I was starting from 16 years old, but I know what it is, and I'm practicing like once in a week, because no more than after. And it's really good because it's a clarify your mind and emotions. It's very important because for mental clarity. And it's very good because if you're able to, you know, when I was younger I was able to, but now I'm 47. And it doesn't matter because so much things was going on before. And you know, I do mindfulness. I actually started, I was thinking about today because I'm like since pandemic, you know, quarantine, I feel something, you know, slow down in mental clarity, like memory, concentration, focusing. And I start to think about maybe I need to go. Yesterday I start to see online information, maybe I go to fasting because it's actually it works. And you know, like I need to train myself. Actually I need to train practicing, and like start. I am not really eating so much heavy food. I'm not strict vegetarian. I'm most eating vegetables, fruits, like grains, you know. And like pretty much good, healthy. You know, today I was in a doctor and she showed me some blood tests, everything it's normal, no cholesterol. And you know, I'm exercise, I'm pretty much, but sometimes mental clarity it's slow down. We have medical issues, some, you know, and but it's okay, everybody's not perfect, you know. So basically keep keep myself up, start to just to focus, keep myself, keep my head up. Maybe like next 2 weeks start to work. I'm massage therapist, you know. I'm doing like body work. But
You were
when
born
you,
in Russia?
um, I was born in Russia. Yes, yes, I was born. I'm here about 26 years.
Oh, okay, long time.
Yeah, yeah. My family is here. I'm remarried. Yeah, but kids. But it's I have a lot of think what's going on. You know, it's a lot of my past, a lot of emotional pain. But now I'm okay. I'm better now.
Yeah, see, the whole Master Fast came through my experiences. I've been sharing my journey for 5 years on social media. And I don't really like to talk about myself that much. We are here as a support group, supporting our lifestyles. I've done enough talking about myself.
Mhm.
I regularly fast. Every week there's fasting schedule.
Yep.
The Master Fast system, we have levels, and you choose a level that you can live and love and embrace.
Mhm. During the fasting time, you only drinking water.
We,
You drink
we don't drink water in Master Fast. We don't drink. We don't. I never drink water.
what? What? How is the fasting goes? How's the period like during the fasting time? What are you doing?
We have a dry window. We have a wet window,
Mm-hmm.
and we use herbs. We use a
Mm-hmm.
mixture of plasma pudding, which is psyllium, clay, and charcoal. and we have a tea. We call it TNT, tinctures and tea, and we do a lot of washing of the colon on the wet days. We have a dry fasting window every day, and then like for about 12 hours, 14 hours. Some days is more advanced, we'll do more hours. We have a 24-hour every week. We have a 3-day every month, and then we have a 5-day every season change. And for those who are experienced for 2 years or longer, you go as long as you can on the dry days, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever you can do, 12. So that's what I do. I've been maintaining a season change type of fasting for 30 years. And in the last 5 years, everything came together, all the information to bring forth Master Fast system, what we call Master Fast. This is a lifestyle. Fasting is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
The eating is not what we focus on. We have a new understanding about eating. Eating is not there for
Living.
sustenance and a necessity. It's we've been led to believe that, but it's furthest thing from the truth. So not everybody's going to be able to stop eating overnight, that's for sure. So what do? We use food for enjoyment, and we choose to eat the least obstructive foods, right? And if we go, the least obstructive would be fruit, and then we go in. Then we go into the green leafy vegetables, and then we go into the vegetable kingdom, and then we go heavier and heavier as we move further and further away. We go into animal products, and then milk products are really, really heavy, like the fats and the proteins. These things are very, very obstructive and will only bring imbalances to our body. So each person has a choice to experience how obstructive they want to live or how de-obstructive they want to live. So everybody's going to have their own personal range of where they're going to be living and loving this type of lifestyle. But we don't suggest you ever drink water. We have a new understanding about water. I have videos made about water. We have a lot of posts about water. Water dehydrates you, it stresses out the kidneys and many, many other things. If you look at, we suggest start reading the protocols, start watching all the testimonial videos we've done in the past, and you will see that all the people that are master fasting don't drink water, and their bodies do amazing things once they start hydrating, and it's not because of water. Hydration is not about water. Hydration is about hydrogen and field strength. If you look at 2 round magnets and you put them side by side, you get a few different magnets. They will only be able to go to a certain distance between each other. They will hold what we call hold positioning, and that's the way our whole physicality works at the nanoparticle level, the blood level, and so on and so forth. And so when you build up your field strength, they take proper positioning. When you're in an imbalanced state, everything coagulates just like blood, and you get stagnant and energy doesn't flow, and that's why we get sick. So we need to keep energy moving and flowing, keep our field strength up. And this is what Master Fast System has shown many thousands of people, that it shines when you live it and love it. If you just are on the page and you're not doing anything, nothing's going to happen. You have to live it and love it, So that's basically, what we do. So water drinking is something we've been criticized when we started sharing that, stop drinking water, start drinking some cooked juice, which everybody thinks is dead, and other cooked dead ingredients that we use, because we're not after the physicality of the ingredients we use. We are after their field strength, their higher order field strength, which happens when you cook things. It's a whole different way of looking at things than what we were taught, right? I was raw as law for almost a decade. I didn't eat any cooked food for almost a decade. And it was a great experience, but you're only going to go so far, you're only going to go so far with any type of diet. Diet, you know, die. It's going to bring you to death. The more you eat, the closer to death you will become. It'll become quicker. So we focus on fasting, Luba. That's the whole key. Focus on fasting. And it's amazing. You've been fasting since 16 years old. What do you usually fast on? Water?
Yes, yes. I usually and during the day I drink water most between meals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we suggest to anybody who's master fasting, living it, stay away from water.
But you know, the human has divided for some types of, you know, like depends on your nature, you know. If you just kapha, vata, or some dosha, you know, and certain type, like even we can divide the blood type, certain like first like A, B, and depend of the type of the blood, we need to eat food, you know.
Do you know how many blood types cows have?
Yeah, 4.
No. Cows have, I can't remember if it's 18 or 22 blood types. You can look it up. So they eat always the same. Doesn't matter what blood type they have. So that theory's out the window just with one animal I'm giving you compare. We don't look at science, Lou, but we look at field strength. We look at the soul. We understand now that when we clean the plasma vacuum tube, the GI tract, what starts happening is the soul comes in and starts working in the physicality in autopilot, meaning you don't have to think, you don't have to know, you don't have to understand, you just surrender and allow and watch what happens. And we have a few people here that have been master fasting for a while, and they can share many things. Just Sarah, who's with us, she grew 2 inches. And there's many other people. I've also experienced the height growth. That comes from field strength. It doesn't come from drinking water. I've never seen it happen drinking water. I've never seen it happen when all the other types of fasts that people are doing out there. I haven't seen it happen. We see these things happen regularly. We see bones straightening out. We see spines straightening out. We see people elongating. We see many years. We see many years of imbalances start getting balanced out again. But the thing is that the challenging part is living in a society that is so imbalanced. People that, you know, experienced all this, they get pressured into going back to an imbalanced state. And because what we say is emotion is seed of all. Intent and emotion is creation itself. Everything you see around you, including yourself, is created first from a thought, and then the intent and emotion which brought forth the materialistic, the matter state of yourself. So everything is created that way, through intent and emotion. So put forth your intent and emotion, and then make it happen, and watch the physicality change. This realm is a slow motion realm. I'm not saying that things cannot happen instantaneously, but more than likely it's going to take time for most people. So not that we, like I said, there's things that happen instantaneously that I've seen and heard around with people, but more than likely it's going to take time. It's going to take hard work, just like an athlete working for many, many years to become an outstanding athlete. It's not going to happen overnight. So fasting is the same thing. You have to work at it and be adept at it. Water will only take away from you, just like food only takes away from you. The more you drink, the thirstier you will become. The more you eat, the hungrier you'll become. So we learn to minimize food as much as possible, and so we can keep our emotions stable and you know, be in a happy state. And water, we don't need water. When you're living this lifestyle, you will see that we've had people that came through Master Fast that were drinking 1 or 2 gallons a day, and they just couldn't comprehend to stop drinking water, and they had a hard time giving up water for a while. But once they've gave it up and they started living and loving this lifestyle, the body dramatically changed and started hydrating itself, and they weren't thirsty anymore because we have a new understanding. We're not going to stick with the old things that don't work. You know, wars have been going on for how many years? They don't work. So why do we keep doing them? We got to change. Wars do not work. They never did. They never will. So you have to change things that are not working. And we got to move into the realm of the light. That's because that's the beings that we are. We are beings of light. And, you know, there's a lot of new information we're giving to you. So these calls are for, you know, people that have already done their homework and are here for support. And then, you know, when we start going through the different dialogues, you have a better understanding of what we're saying, you know, with field strength and this and that and so on and so forth. But everybody's welcome. And it's awesome that you came on board. And how did you find Masterfast, by the way?
Mastercard, first of all, just I have a friend, Dalia Bascombe, and she just recommend me master fasting because she usually practicing like fasting, like in her daily life. And then I just find out you just nothing, just like go to the scrolling the pages, and then suddenly I find you.
Awesome. So yeah, if you go in the Facebook group, it's like a Facebook wiki. You can use the search option. There's many questions you'll find there. We have frequently asked questions on the website. We have done these videos for almost 5 years now, every week.
Mm-hmm.
We've done, you know, quite a few testimonials with people. They're sharing their experience. You know, when we started, we were promoting long 108-day fasts, but we've moved away from that because it was misunderstood by most people that this is a lifestyle. It's not an event. If you want to invent something, go to a circus.
But unfortunately, everyone in our society has different lifestyle. You know, we cannot we sometimes come to the group, right? Understand like what your interest. We come to the group, and some other go to the different group. So basically, like everyone has different, you know, intention, different personality, and different, you know, food actually for the brain, right? Yeah. So I agree with you what you told me, and I cannot just like always belong to your opinion, you know, because just we are different, we unique, and you know, and
I tell everybody, don't believe a word I'm telling you. Go through the experience, and then you can share your experience. I have nothing to do with anybody. I have nothing to do with Masterfast. The information just came through me.
I mean,
but
you will never find something that is 100% you. You know, you will have to find your way. But on the Masterfast, like the protocol is pretty strict for important reasons, because we don't want people, you know, most people don't know how to fast and eat properly. So we have a protocol for that, just to be on the safe side, basically.
Safe and effective. How long? What was your longest fast, Luba?
Like only 24 hours.
That's your longest fast?
Yes.
And water?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we suggest for most people to start on 2 days a week, 1 day liquid, 1 day dry. Do you know about dry fasting? I'm sure you do. Or no?
Do
you know about dry fasting?
No, I'm sorry, I don't know. You know.
Oh, because Filanov, Dr. Filanov, he's a Russian doctor who wrote a book about dry fasting.
There are so many Russians.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
I know. You know, I remember the author Paul Bragg.
Paul Bragg, yeah, he died in his 90s body surfing, a boathead.
Yes, like fasting for the living. That's I read.
Yeah. So yeah, he had some very good information. But you know, we've been exposed to a lot of different what people call fasting things out there, fasting systems and so on and so forth.
But you know, they think the spirit is the same. It doesn't matter sometimes food, but the spirit, sometimes we have different like approach in our human, you know. If something comes, something connected, that's grateful, you know, that united us here, you know, today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like what master fasting has shared has changed people's lives in a very dramatic way that we have not seen in the fasting world or the raw food world or the natural healing world in many, many years. In the 30 years I've been doing this, I've not seen the dramatic metamorphosis transformations that we've seen with people master fasting. So we are a niche little kind of group, very, very niche. And we are serious about what we do. We don't, we have our arms open to everybody's welcome and so on and so forth, except warmongers. Those are the only ones we don't allow, we do not welcome. Until they change their ways, we don't welcome warmongers. But,
and we encourage everyone to do their, like to read and read the protocol and, you know, do their homework basically, you know, because there's lots of information and we cannot teach it on the videos really. You will have to do your own as well. You'll have to do your own reading through the protocol. The protocol has 30 years behind it. Gino's experience and many other people's experiences as well put together in the past 5 years. So there's, it's a good protocol. So I totally suggest that you start by reading the notice and then read the protocol.
It's a freaking amazing protocol.
And then choose your lifestyle.
Beyond good.
And I mean, you don't have, even if you don't do 2 days a week, you can do 1 day a week, you know, 1 day master fast liquid just to start. That's actually easier than water fasting.
Yeah.
Easier than water fasting. So you can do that one. You can start like that. And then 6 days a week, you can do the clean up the diet as much as you can, because clean eating is very important to keep the lifestyle going, basically detoxing and cleansing. So we highly suggest also that you look into clean eating and minimal as well. We don't want to be eating all day long because that's a little bit too much food, you know.
Yeah, it needs to relax intestine, you know, like stomach, because it's actually feed a lot, you know, it brings you more laziness, you know. I need to have break between meals. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even like we suggest 1 meal or maximum 2 meals a day, you know.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, maybe within 3 hours instead of.
Unfortunately, when you're active, when you just work hard, need to do some physical work. Sometimes it's hard. It's possible to eat 2 meals, but sometimes it's not possible because you need some energy.
No, we have covered that part in the master fast. We don't believe the energy comes from food. We actually believe the opposite. The food takes away your energy. So physical exercises, when you're doing, it depends how intense you're doing the master fast. If you're doing a low level, then you can still work out, I'm sure, the same way. But if you're doing more exercise, more fasting and less eating, then your body will be detoxing more. So you want to listen to your body, you want to rest, you don't want to push your body to allow the energy to go towards cleansing. The only reason you would feel tired when you're eating less is because your body is detoxing, right? So
yeah, there's a whole misconception about what happens during a fast. Most people are ignorant. It's just the way it is.
it's just they don't know. I mean, we didn't know either.
It
us a
took
while
me,
to learn.
yeah, it took me a long time to really understand fasting. Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet book and Rational Fasting are really good basics for people who want to be introduced to fasting. That's how I started with those books 30 years ago, and many others. But those ones there are a good foundation for people, and will give you a good base of knowledge. But if you're in a master fasting group and you read the protocol and everything, we have that foundation within the master fast and much more. We've learned quite a little bit more than Arnold Ehret from 100 years ago,
Yeah.
and we've been able to help many people.
And you will find that many people in the group are coming from maybe the mucusless diet or raw vegan. I mean, I come from raw vegan. My first introduction to detoxification was through the raw vegan diet. Gino started with the mucusless diet 30 years ago, and then he did the raw vegan for 10 years straight, 100% raw. So we all come from that background. Most of us, not all of us. Some people actually come from keto, eating meat and fat, which is very different from what we do. And they have such a hard time drinking the juice because it's fruit juice. And, just like getting their head around it, wrapping their head around it.
From every single type of diet, people come from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm. Some people
from sad diets,
standard,
from vegetarian, from vegan, from junk vegetarian, from junk food addicts, completely junk. We've had people from all walks of life come to this realm and seen many amazing transformations. Do people stick with it? That's a personal thing. Not everybody's ready.
Yeah.
No matter what
to
people
stick to a
say.
Diet, yeah, let alone fasting. It's really it's a lifestyle change, and everybody has a hard time with that. Takes discipline.
Yeah, the whole food thing is hard for most people to comprehend that we get all our nutrients and energy from food. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Look at the plants. They teach us. They don't have mouths. They don't have a digestive system. They live off fields exclusively. And if you work with plants a lot, you will understand that you can communicate with them. Not by words on soul level, you can communicate.
You won't feel hungry, that's for sure.
You will learn to read them and so on and so forth at a different level. And you will transfer your energy to them. If there's many people have done experiments with plants, getting exact same plants, putting an experiment, putting one plant separate from the other one. And on one of them you say, I love you every day. And the other one you say, I hate you every day. And just keep the words on there so you don't mix it up. And you do that for 30 days or 2 months, and you're going to see a dramatic difference in the plants. So plants can teach you a lot.
And it's nice, when many of us, when we garden, we shared this, that we don't feel hungry anymore. So there's something, about being in nature.
I understand. Yes. It's really true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, a good level for somebody like you would be to start on like a level 2 or 3.
Or even 1, like one day liquid.
Oh, but she's been doing easier. One day water for years.
Yeah, it's easier than water for sure. Yeah. So you can do 2. Yeah.
Well, do you eat animal products still, or are you strictly on vegetables, fruit?
Yes, and vegetable fruits. Yes, nuts, grains. Sometimes I eat even some, because we like even some lean meat. I like to eat, but not usually. Sometimes, very occasionally. But when we have some, I just tell everyone has different lifestyle. Everyone sometimes has a party, even not to really party, to just meet some friends. Some, party in yourself, in your soul, and you like to eat what your body asks you, like something, because even maybe a glass of wine or different things, just because if the body asking in your spirit, it's you feeling something, you know, you cannot regret, you know, because you don't have to hesitate, you know, because we live in the United States like a freedom, you know, and we have to accept what it is, you know, to realize, you know, that's my point, that's my life is, you know, because maybe I was struggling before, was really like to find some, you know, meaning of my life, meaning of my purpose, you know, my mission, you know. And then I realized I found some, you know, what I'm just like in the present, because everyone, you know, like now, like pandemic, we have different step of our life, you know, like everyone step forward, you know, climbing every step, you know, like, and for everyone, like pandemic different, some disaster, some feeling anxiety, fears, and how to survive financially, like even relationship breaking down, because it's very hard in house live with a spouse, you know, who is not understanding, or just go to the work because meet somebody, going back to work and just spend nights, that different story. So that's that was my previous experience. So I passed through every steps, and now I'm just like, for me, I spoke with you on the Facebook. For me, it's like I'm relaxed, by the way, because in my life, actually, I was on a vacation, but long time ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago on a vacation, but mostly I work hard. And actually this time I was looking for, where is going to be my vacation? How can I get 2 days off, you know? My hands hurt, because I'm spiritual. I'm very faithful to the God, and you know, probably God, you know, like guides me all the time, you know, and you know, I just said, oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you for the present time, and I just accept what it is, you know. Maybe, yeah, I'm tired now because I'm off from work, you know. I need to something, it's boring already, like in the house or something. I do some physical activity outside in like in the park, but some certain need some like work, like, because something like when you feeling like most of the people like great depression, right? Because doesn't do nothing, you know, because if you start do something, you just beat your depression, you just be active, you know, like doing some different things, like working, being outside, socializing. But like when we stuck ourselves, you know, in our apartment, able to talk on a social distancing, that's a clue actually, but something like the way it is, the way it's hard to so many aspects like to touch this like pandemic, because
Yeah.
it's really like coronavirus, like virus. It's so many sides, you know, why it's happened, why, you know, like it's like pollution actually, because
Yeah,
it's just,
like you know, what we say, it's important to be gentle with yourself, and sure, yes, listen, be spiritual, and you know, just be kind to to yourself, and don't over push it. That's why we have like lifestyle levels, so you can just, you know, love yourself and be patient, and you know, very important to be consistent, find something that you can resonate with, and that's how I see that. I see this as faith, you know, this is, you're building your faith, you know, becoming stronger as a person. Now uh, that, but however, you know, we are, of course, we are, many of us are going through this on Masterfast lifestyle, but we do not make it an excuse. In my opinion, I don't have to make it an excuse to eat meat, for example, or whatever, you know, it's not, no big deal. But if I don't want to eat meat, I'm not gonna eat meat, and I'm still gonna be a happy person, you know. Like it's we want to find our what we want to do and do it. No excuses. I don't like, you know, we don't like excuses, because let's do what we want to do. Let's get it done, you know. It's okay to take your time, and but let's have
yeah, Meat makes you more angry, actually. Makes it, you know, like it's a protein. It's like animal proteins, but we need to replace to the plant proteins, you know.
Even that, you know,
So
we're
many
not,
people like suffer from the like the meat.
you know what? We are not fans of protein in general. Not even plant protein because it's hard on the body, hard to digest.
We're
and
into
hard
the
to
lowest
eliminate.
nutritional foods.
We are into the lightest, you know, the lightest food because it's the easiest on the system. But this we learned with experience, you know. So as for someone new, yes, sure, it's better to replace with plant protein, which is easier to digest than animal
See,
protein. And
the thing about food is people say they're listening to their body. No, they're listening to their addictions. Food
it's
is
very easy to
addictive,
be
just like any drug.
confused.
And what we've seen, what I've experienced is people say all kinds of things that they're listening to their body, and they really don't have a clue, because when the body is in an obstructed state, your body's going to give you all kinds of false information. Oh, I'm listening to my body. I've heard this for 30 years.
However, having said that, you know,
It's-
yes, of course, the
it's-
message is not true in my opinion, most of the time. So you want to be clear about the message. You want to learn how to read the messages, but be gentle. If you feel like it's too much stress, then you want to go more gentle,
Yeah.
you know?
It's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's good when Rana said it's be careful just how to read your messages. It's true. You have to you need to hear your messages, right? Because so many messages, so many thoughts coming to the brain, and you need to distinguish what is right message for you.
And that takes knowledge. You'll have to learn the detoxification that we're
It's a
talking
lot of practicing. It's a lot of practicing.
Yeah,
Experiencing.
knowledge and practice.
Hmm.
The only way we're going to learn, each one of us, is by experiencing. We can talk to a blue in the face, and that's not going to mean anything until you've experienced it. So that's why we suggest jump in and experience it. You can ask a billion questions, and I can tell you, we can give you all the answers that,
It's not enough.
and it's not going to mean anything, because we've seen that. I've seen this for 30 years. Doesn't mean anything what we say. You have to experience it and allow that soul, your soul, to work in autopilot. And that may sound strange to you, but
Drive you. It will.
you will understand it once you start doing long fasts of how much truth brings in that. Because I can't do anything for you. She can't do anything for nobody else can do anything for you. Your soul is going to be the manifester of your physicality. That's what created your physicality, and that's the only thing that can correct your physicality from the imbalanced lifestyle that we've all chosen, you know, coming in this realm. So little by little, we learn to have more faith and trust in our soul, surrender, and practice consciously to let go of the monkey mind. That thing that never stops talking, that's the monkey mind. It's all bull crap. Let it go. And allow the soul to do its magic, and it does every single
It's a
time.
beautiful experience.
I've never seen anybody's soul fail them. Never. The only time it fails them is when they go back to food and drugs and this and that, because they're just not ready to do this type of lifestyle.
You know, it's a beautiful experience, and at some point you will realize that being in the dark was also a beautiful experience because you're able to see now the light, you know.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I know that.
Embrace now and embrace tomorrow, you know. Like,
Mhm.
It's all beautiful.
yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we came here with all the challenges, you know, into this life. There's a reason, so enjoy it, you know. We do our best to
Do some homework, and you know, keep joining us on these calls, and you'll start seeing your understanding will start to expand. We don't have all the answers. We don't say we do, but your soul does. Everybody's soul has all the answers, because everybody's soul is connected direct to the divine, God, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it. And all the knowledge of all creation is within everybody's soul. So if somebody's is trying to tell you that you need to go through them to get some answers, just run the other way.
Yeah, you know, like it's amazing.
That's
you
what I
know,
would suggest.
pretty much with every teacher, I say, you know, no matter how much I like them, I say they are not God. They don't have all the answers. So I cannot ask them everything because, you know, they're not God.
Yeah, God is your spirit, you know. For everyone, his spirit is different. Yes. What God tells you, that's you, that's yours, that's your God.
One of the main things when you go into fasting states, a master fasting state, is to understand whatever comes to the surface is a weakness, is an imbalance. Because all these will come to the surface in a fasting state. In a true fasting state, all your imbalances, physical, mental, emotional, they will all come to the surface. This is how the soul works in the physicality. It brings them to the surface to release them so you can bring balance back. So if you understand that basic concept, then you don't get into the fear state, you know, like you get some crazy healing reactions, some heart palpitations, some cramping here and there, or some emotional state, very dramatic emotional state. All these are times where we jump for joy, we embrace it, and what we say is use the tools to pull you through, because you'll always go through, you'll always get through it, and you'll always come out stronger. Always.
Yeah, you'll have to learn, you'll have to read the protocol, understand the detox symptoms and how to deal with them, and experience them slowly. As you know, live and love the lifestyle, you will go through more and more fasting and more experiences where you can, you know, understand this whole thing. It's hard to understand. It can be scary to even read it. But if you do it slowly, you will gain the experience and the confidence with time.
Yeah, right.
How is everyone else doing?
A-okay. Jump in when you're ready.
The numbness is fading from my hand.
What do you mean by that? Sorry?
So the numbness, like that bump that was on my hand, the numbness is fading away.
Nice.
Of course. Did you have any doubts?
No, of course not. I'm just saying it took what, like a week?
I'm just kidding.
That's
It was interesting. Like last week, it I don't know. I think it's been like a week now. I'd have to look back.
Maybe a couple weeks.
Maybe two. So I don't know, like 4 or 5 days ago, the numbness like spread further out in my hand for a day, and then it started going back in, and I just broke my dry today, and 'cause I'm on day 15. I just broke my dry today, and
Level 7?
realized what?
Level 7?
Yeah. And I just started like poking at it, and I realized, oh, I can like kind of feel again.
Sarah had some surgery done on her hands, and she had a bump come up
while she was fasting.
You know, and this is how the body works. This is what I was just saying earlier, Luba, about how all weaknesses come to the surface. So, you know, when people have surgeries and they go through their healing, most people are eating. So the body never, ever can correct itself when you're eating. I don't care.
I mean, not enough.
How many scientists tell you that you need nutrition? I'm completely opposite. I'm the one who's going to tell you that the only way your body can heal to blueprint, there's a perfect blueprint of you in the ether. The only way is in a fasting state with a clean GI tract. There's no other way. And we've many of you guys have shown that over and over and over.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about, the soul working in autopilot. And it's magical when you see these things happen. It blows you away. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. So we hear these things these amazing things all the time. And so now, you know, it's a regular thing in MasterFast. At the beginning, you know, everybody's freaking out and people are joining the group like crazy. But now it's just a normal thing, a walk in the park for people to go through miracles. It's because it's happened so many times. So now, you know, people get used to it. It's like, you know, when watched the first Godfather, they seen the horse's head in the movie in the bed. People freaked out on that, and now shooting, killing is taking off people's heads is a normal thing now. We get used to these things. I'm talking about both extremes, but see the good side instead of the early side. You know, we can get conditioned to the light, or we can get conditioned to the darkness. I choose the light.
Hey, Gino, I watched the first 40 minutes of your interview with Elitom. That was awesome.
Yeah, lots of energy there.
Yeah, he's cool.
John, how are you doing? Are you master fasting?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I'm doing. I don't know. Like since I started coming here on the Zoom, I don't know. I've done about mostly hybrid days. And as you know, I did 2 longer dry fasts, 40 hours. And then I've been doing shorter ones, 17 hours. So, but my problem is I get on like the swing, like the bipolar sort of eating regimen where I'm eating heavy on vegan on my eating days. So it's something I don't know, like the way I look at it is that I on my eating days, you know, I eat too much, I eat heavy vegan, and then the way I justify it is it's like, well, tomorrow I'm doing master fast. So, you know, so it's fine. I'll just get my act together tomorrow. So I've been doing that quite a bit. I've been doing master fast almost every other day with primarily hybrid master fast. Like I eat a lot of apples.
And dry fasting.
And then and then every day I'm doing minimum 12 hours, usually closer to 14 to 15, 17 hours. I've done a few 24-hour dries. So, you know, I'm doing pretty good. It's just that I get into the kind of bipolar swing.
Yeah.
That I would like to really start toning that down and like, you know, getting more on the program.
I suggest maybe more complete full master fast days as well. So you have your dry and liquid as well.
You're pushing the dries.
Maybe I would do 1 or 2 liquid and dry, you know, if you can be consistent with weekly and monthly as well.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time, but I am moving towards the program, you know, and I really enjoy it. I think about it a lot. I try to trick myself to do it better.
Yeah. Maybe
a day. Don't eat every other day.
I know.
Go do master fast for 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I did.
Your body just keeps it's confused. You're confusing your body.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very
always craving.
It's true. It's a kind of confusion. But on the other hand, I'm really conscious of what I'm doing. Like it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to eat this. And I know it's not on the program. So you know, I'm having trouble doing it the way
Are you
it's
eating?
prescribed.
Are you eating one meal a day or more, or
Um,
like fruits and then vegetables?
yeah, it's heavier than that. I'm eating like vegan protein. You know, I'm eating a lot of yams and beets, like macrobiotic yams and beets soup with sea vegetables and lion's mane mushrooms. I really like macrobiotic soup. So I'm eating that, and I'm eating grains for certain.
Okay. Is there fat?
Yeah, I'm eating some fat. I'm eating yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna like it.
No, it's okay. But the combo of fat, I would remove the fats. The grains I would replace with seeds, like more like wild rice or quinoa are easier on your body than rice. And
Yeah, I love quinoa.
yeah, you know, go for that. It's easier. Have more vegetables when you're eating this kind of food, and don't overeat it. So maybe make smaller amounts and more vegetables. This way, you're not, you know, burdened. Your body is not burdened by the heaviness of the quinoa. Although the quinoa is not that heavy in my opinion, it's just not too much. Maybe more vegetables. Have maybe more salads with it, or more like raw vegetables, or even cooked steamed vegetables. Enjoy your food, you know. And
I
overeating is
do.
another thing. So maybe have your food later in the day, so fast all day long, and then later in the day have your meal. Maybe always start with fruits.
I always do that. I've been doing that. I've been doing fruit in the morning only for 30 years.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
but
since I read Dr. Ehret, I've always fruit in the morning, nothing else. You don't mix fruit with anything else. Like that, that's at least, you know, Professor Ehret, the no breakfast routine. I've been doing that for 30 years.
yeah, yeah, you want to, I would not start in the morning, because you otherwise you'll be eating all day long, right? So maybe start later in the day.
Yeah, I do that. I try to go until like 3 or 4, and I love the longer you wait, the easier it is. And then if you wait longer, then I'm more likely to just do an all fruit day.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because it's like, well, I'm going to bed in like 3 or 4 hours, so I might as well just go all fruit. So I try to trick myself
Yeah,
into getting closer to the program,
that really helps. Yeah, for sure.
you know.
So this
I
way
have a suggestion with the quinoa. For my family, I make a dish called veggie quinoa, and I cut up celery and zucchini very finely and water saute it with a whole lot of seasoning. So I use a lot of thyme, and then I add in quinoa. The ratio, it's about a 50-50 or so, maybe even more veg, 75% veg. And it's very nice. And recently I even found that using a finely chopped cauliflower instead of the quinoa worked really well also.
Nice.
So that might be helpful.
Yeah, I love cauliflower.
Yeah, so you can season that very nicely, and it's nice and light.
Yeah, and John, the fat is very stimulating and very addictive. It's very addictive.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Out, especially when you're eating the carbs of like the vegetables and the quinoa or whatever. When you're eating that way, you don't want to mix fats, because your blood sugar is going to be out of whack. You're not going to feel good, and your addiction will, you know, will increase as well eating this way. So it's best to get the fat completely out. If you have salts as well, I would remove the salt. If you're having salt, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or at least really reduce it and have.
I use good miso, like traditional Japanese miso in my soup.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah, it's salty.
so yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask one thing. The like when I do a all fruit day or a master fast day or a hybrid day, um, you know, it's pretty obvious that you sleep less. You don't need as much sleep, and I still sleep quite a bit on say a master fast or a fruit day. But the thing is, on days when I eat protein and fat, I just sleep like a baby. And like, cause I'm very athletic. And so I'm always working out, and like, I'll work out on a all fruit day or a master fast day. And I'll do all my routines like yoga,
Mm-hmm.
running, biking, everything. And then, you know, I'll do that on an all fruit day or a master fast day. And then when I eat protein, it's almost like I don't really have the energy to work out like that. So I've been doing that for so long that that's just obvious to me that you're going to have less energy, you know, but then I sleep like a baby, and I almost feel like I'm restoring. Like if I do a fasting day or a master fast day, it's like then I eat all this protein and I feel like I'm restoring. Like
Yeah, it's good for you.
man, you know, I just feel great.
Are you
So-
telling yourself an emotional story?
Yeah.
The addiction.
No, man. No, like I tell people I'm a professional sleeper. I just love sleeping. The more the better. And I know that might be, I mean, I know that signals imbalance in your book.
Yeah, we don't know. We have experienced it. When we eat heavier,
You're
our
gonna sleep
body
more.
wants to sleep. It
It's
has to
'cause-
it has to process.
Takes all that energy to do the digestion. It's tired.
Robs the body of energy.
It's good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
all
it
the energy in the
also-
body goes to digestion.
But the muscle that I get, like when I wake up, I just feel like, you know, I feel really good from a athletic point of view. You know, I've been athletic my entire life and austere.
We all
You've
know
been
that.
an athlete working with addition lifestyle. You never experienced a subtraction athlete
You
lifestyle.
become way more flexible when you are.
Yeah. Well, no, I have experience because, like I was saying, it's easier to do athletics on a day when you're eating all fruit, and I've experienced that for years and years. If I eat all fruit, it's like I can work out longer, and it's like it's easy.
And the recovery as well. Many people have mentioned the recovery is way less injuries when I'm fasting. For example, yoga.
Yeah.
Raw food. When I started raw food, I used to injure myself. But on fasting, there's no injury. Even if I fall, I'm still not injured.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I brought it up, because the idea of recovery, I find that when I'm seeing how I feel and thinking about how I feel, on that's what I was saying, because I do feel like I'm recovering very well if I eat a whole bunch of protein and
Yeah, we can justify anything.
no, I'm not justifying it. I'm talking
your
about how
brain.
I feel.
When you're doing that, your brain is justifying what the actions are.
No, man, I've been doing it for too
Now
long.
it's all part of addiction.
You know
So-
what?
You can say anything you want about it. That's the addictive mind telling you exactly what it wants, what it needs to hear to justify the action.
Do it for 3 months straight.
Without
Yeah,
fasting,
well, that's a good point.
without fasting.
Then come talk to us.
You know, I never saw, look, if you wake up in the morning and you feel awesome and you're happy and you're encouraging other people, then it's not addiction or like my mind tricking myself.
And why are you questioning it?
Huh?
And
No,
why
I'm
are you
asking.
questioning it?
Because it's
I'm
different.
asking.
I
I'm
can
asking.
introduce you
no.
to drug addicts, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
Hey, I come from like a Tai Chi, martial arts,
Yeah, where you
like
come
Buddhist background. It's
It
like
has nothing to, this is nothing to do with anything.
No, seriously. I mean, John. John.
no, no.
It's the protein. It's so hard on our bodies. We know that. The heavier you eat,
Anyway,
it's hard not only on your bowels, your kidneys, your joints. Everything is going to be affected by it, and the fat too. The fat is very heavy too to process, and so
fat is the worst.
and so. Okay. Let me tell you something.
Protein is the second worst.
One thing you could be going through, and that's no doubt. We know that when you are eating mainly fruits or fasting and working out, okay, and after that, the recovery, you are detoxing a little bit, okay, especially when you're fasting, you're detoxing. And so if you feel like crap sometimes, there is a reason for it. It takes years for us to come, like, to feel okay, like consistent on a lifestyle, on master fast lifestyle and clean eating, which takes a long time to master, really.
I just seen that
It's detoxing.
most of us are just not ready to be in that high energy, de-obstructive state 24/7. We're just not ready for it because we're living in a society that is complete opposite, and it's very difficult and challenging for people to be in that state with everybody else being in a sucking your energy state.
We're not
So
going to.
we bring ourselves down and we justify it. because of our
nobody-
addiction.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody said that the transformation is going to be perfect. And we're going to become liquidarian or breatharian. Nobody said it's going to be that easy. It takes years for us to master this lifestyle, and build ourselves and our confidence.
I have a little insight to share with the sleep thing from my perspective. I had always had a hard time going to sleep, racing mind and so on, but I would still look forward to sleep. And about 1.5 years ago, my nightmare started every night. And it was a nightmare to even want to go to bed. It was so bad. And it's taken me this long. And I can share right now that consistent meditation has brought me some peace, finally. And so at the time when these nightmares started, John, I had been doing Master Fast for a while. And so things have been changing for me, and it did become harder. I didn't have the food to weigh me down, to give me the peace that I knew. And so now I have to find a new peace, a peace I never had. And it's a challenge, honestly. It's like, I feel like this is all the biggest challenge. But
yeah, I mean, I fully agree. Like, that's an interesting way to put it, like finding a new peace. I totally agree that what you guys are saying, like, I really do think that way. Like, that we're absolutely spiritual beings and we're living in the ether. I do ayahuasca. There's a lot of stuff in the ether that goes on during ceremonies. And I really believe, the fully spiritual interpretation of human life, like this life. But all I was saying about my body is that, like, some days, like, if you feel very, very, very good from an athletic kind of point of view, then it's hard to like discern between that sort of feeling when you wake up and then other sorts of feelings, like other patterns or other kind of like patterns that you're living through week to week, that's what I was saying. Like, it's like, wow, I feel so good. And I'm like, I'm like,
There's many athletes that would say that, they felt really good and excellent. A lot of them have dropped dead. Why? Because the, extreme athleticism is also another addiction for some people. They get high, like a runner's high or whatever.
that's a good point. Yeah.
And a lot of them drop dead. So doesn't mean athletes are all healthy.
My question is,
No.
Physical things is an important part of our whole health system, but it's a small part.
Yeah. Well, athletics can screw up your body.
Exactly.
okay, my
sure.
question is, would you consider, since you feel much better or great, not great, eating protein, would you, why don't you do it every day like this and let go of the fasting and like lighter eating, right? If you like, if you think that this is the best feeling you have, I don't know if it is the best, but it's a great feeling, why don't you do it? And let
Because for, like, for example, about 3 years ago, well, I've been doing all fruit days for so long, like 20 years, 30 years. And then, so it is part of the way I see the balance of my health. So doing all fruit days, and now MFS is like another level to that, or,
so you're doing
but
like on and off.
I do, yeah, I just do, like a couple years ago, I did 120 days total of what I call 36-hour cycle of all fruit. So like so that's like a third of the year I was doing all fruit. And then, but my point is that I do consider it, like, in the big scheme of things, I consider it part of the way I balance my diet.
Yeah,
Right.
I would see it more like yo-yoing, for me, if I would.
Yeah, well, that's
like,
what I mean. That's why I was using the word bipolar, because it does seem like that
I mean, we
sometimes.
all yo-yo, to get into the master fast, really, many people have. But I would not say it's balanced for me to do something like that. It wouldn't be a balanced choice for me. It's going from heavy to light, to heavy to light, to heavy to light. Yes, I'm doing, I would definitely I would reduce the heaviness, and I would reduce the heavy days as well. I would reduce both. Otherwise, it's too much on the body. Extreme is not the way to go. That's what we always.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I'm a Scorpio. It's like very bipolar kind of sign.
Yeah.
Can you trust
So,
yourself?
huh?
Can you trust yourself?
That's something we all work on.
Good question.
The way they say about Scorpios.
They don't trust anybody. Yeah. No, but I really like this. Like, this is something I don't know. I'm just really attracted to this. So I'm trying.
Yeah, forget about trying, John. We suggest jump in and follow the protocol, and do it for a good 6 months to a year, and see what happens.
Yeah. And one more thing, Rana, you were talking about in the enema to use baking soda. Like, if you have a full bottle, how much baking soda would you put in it?
A bottle, like how?
Like a standard size. I don't know. It's like, maybe, what is it? 1.5 liters?
Yeah. We would put like is it
about a teaspoon per
teaspoon
liter is
per
fine.
A teaspoon per liter.
A quart, whatever measurement you want to.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Very close.
It's in the protocol.
Is it? Oh, because I didn't see it in the protocol.
Just search baking soda. and you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's-
hard. You know, this is hard. What you guys are doing is pretty tough.
Yeah.
The lifestyle, you mean?
It's just, you know, it's hard for me.
Well, it's breaking down the paradigms that your mind is stuck in. pretty much.
Yeah, we all are programmed.
Everybody is. Everybody was. Everybody is. You got to unlearn everything that you've learned.
All is well. It's you know, this lifestyle is not for everybody, as we keep saying. It's a very dedicated way of living. As we can see with what's happening now with Corona, most people don't give two shits about their health. They're waiting for a vaccine.
Yeah.
It shows you where the mentality of people is. They're out going to
yeah.
fast foods and so on and so forth, and they're waiting for the vaccine to save them. So, you know, it's taking responsibility for your own health is something that I have not seen many people do in the last 30 years myself. So that's why I just shunned away from you know, really wanting to share with people anymore after, you know, after I started for about 5-10 years. It was just, people didn't care. They don't care about their health. They're going to wait until something happens, and then they go to their doctor or the hospital, and they want to get their magic potion, lotions, and whatever else, right? This is the norm out there. This is the way the conditioning has been done to our minds since we were brought into this world through our parents, our schooling, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, TV, television, advertisements, and so on and so forth. To change, to come out of this norm. That's why we say that one of the most important things is be on these calls, you know, to have support of this lifestyle, because out there, you're not going to have any support. Not going to happen. I still have comments from my family who see me doing this for 30 years. Fasting again? You're going to kill yourself. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Meanwhile, they're on their next designer drug and next ailment, and it's just the same story over and over. Or one of them dropping dead, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And today, the fear of the virus, right? Like, imagine, I mean, really, imagine you're not taking care of your health. Wouldn't you be scared of that virus? You would be scared.
You see very clearly everybody's wearing a mask.
Unless
you're in a place where you have to wear it.
Like, what kind of a life is this, to live in fear, you know, in fear of cancer, in fear of catching a virus that, you know, people had to shut down in order not to get it, you know, like, it's, you know.
Crazy world. Ivy, we'd like to hear something from you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very new, but I've read the protocol probably 5 times. I just got my herbs, I think, yesterday. But there's like a couple weeks that I've been waiting for the herbs. And so I know this isn't the MFS protocol because the herbs weren't involved, but I've been doing daily dry fast for 14 hours each day, and drinking my my grape juice, my pasteurized grape juice and lemon added to it. And I've basically been doing like a level 5 or 6. I think the first week I did a level 6, and this week it's been a 5. But I've been really wanting to kind of do a longer fast. I've done lots of juice fasts in the past. Dry fasting is new to me though. What was that?
What kind of juice fast have you done, and how long? What was your longest?
My longest was 3 weeks, and mainly just veggie, like green. It's a green juice with veggies with some apple. That was like pretty much what I did every day, with some orange juice on some days.
Yourself?
What was that?
You juiced it yourself?
Yeah. I have a juicer. So I don't know. I was kind of wanted your guys' opinion on, would it be okay to try to do like a 30 or 40 day? I'm kind of the person that likes to just like dive in really deep, and then, but I'm open to your opinion.
How many testimonial videos have you watched?
I've read through the document in the file folder, but I haven't watched any videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your age? If you don't mind asking.
It's okay. I'm 34.
34. Somebody's calling me.
Just 1 second.
Uh,
Is that yours? Yeah. Yeah, let her in. I don't know. She's yeah, I think she's trying to join us, Barbara. Okay.
yes. So
She messaged me. Okay, go ahead.
just ask her to sign in. Well, sorry, what was I lost my train of thought.
Okay, I'm 34. Oh, I should mention, I've been doing enemas, just like 4 liters though every day for the last couple weeks, and my kidneys are like barely filtering, like very little sediment.
Okay.
Answer
All right,
this.
I'm gonna answer. All right. Go ahead.
You have to swipe it. So, sorry, continue.
That's okay. I don't know what you heard, but I just wanted to mention that I've been doing 4-liter enemas every day, and I've been, my sediment in my kidneys are like barely filtering. Like, yeah, very little.
What's your diet been like last few years and growing up?
Yeah, growing up, it was awful. The last year or two, vegan, like no animal products. Not, what was that?
With fats?
Definitely like avocados and some coconut oil. But, yeah, so yes, but not a ton, I guess.
So what I would say is, you know, you don't really have any experience in fasting. Green juice fasts they don't have any power.
Yeah.
If you ask anybody who's been master fasting, we use green juices to slow way down.
Yeah.
It's good. You've experienced having an empty stomach, and which is always beneficial to have a rest, right?
Yeah.
But the stripping power to cleanse, there's nothing that comes close to what we're doing here, right? In the realm of MFS. I would recommend, just like everybody else, starting on level 2 and stick with that for a while. Throw in a level 3, 4 every month or so, and once you've trained yourself over and over for at least 6 months to a year, you know what it's like to fast and break the fast and get the feel of that. Then you can throw in the 30, 40 day if you like, and then you're mentally prepared when you're going to come out. You're going to still be in one of the levels, if not at a higher level.
Okay.
Because the biggest mistake people make is breaking the fast improperly and then going back to their old ways of eating. And it's all emotional, because as we were speaking earlier, all weaknesses will come to the surface when you fast, when you go in a fasting state. And see, Tommy's shaking his head. It's this is where we need to support each other, inspire each other, and master that emotional state. We have many tools. GANS is one of the tools. Zinc oxide GANS helps support the emotion. Meditation, essential oils, etc., etc., etc. Enemas. Anytime you have any kind of emotional thing or physical healing reaction, enemas. So we use all those tools to help support us when these things come up. To dive into a 30, 40 day, yeah, you're going to have an amazing experience doing the 30, 40 days, but we don't like seeing what people do after. It's just, what is this? Does anybody hear us? This is a lifestyle, or you're just going to a circus? You know, that's all we've been promoting, suggesting since day one. This is a lifestyle. But very, very, very few actually understood and heard that. Very few.
Yeah.
And it was difficult watching. Yeah, we've seen amazing, miraculous transformation, metamorphosis. But what they're doing after, what's going on here? And then, you know, finger pointing starts happening when and then 3 are pointing back, of course, right? because you're not ready to face the mirror of truth, your mirror of truth, and take full responsibility for your health, because this is what this is about. Jumping into the realm of peace, balance, correct conduct, doing whatever it takes to stay in that realm of peace, balance, correct conduct. And, you know, forget about pointing fingers, because that don't work. You're not going to solve anything that way. But, you know, take it easy, take it slow. You know, this is, it's a lifestyle journey. You have all the time of eternity to do whatever you like.
Our lives. Yeah.
There's no rush. And if you try and rush it, you're not gonna be a happy person. Let's put it that way. Everybody who tried pushing themselves,
I mean,
a lot of them are not here no more. They're gone. Some of them came back because they tasted that wonderful state of the fields, and you can't find it in food. I don't care what food, what diet you eat. So they come back. You know, and just today somebody messaged me, can I come back in the group? This time I swear I'll stay within the rules. And blah, blah. We have that every once in a while, people coming back. You're not going to get any diet coming close. When you've especially been doing this for a while, and you know, a few of us here can share that. You've been doing this a while. You've tasted that amazing state of being in the fields with a pretty good clean GI tract. You've tasted it. It's very, very, very challenging to go back to eating again
and be happy
and be in that happy state. Yeah, we enjoy eating. We enjoy the taste. We enjoy that few seconds of, you know, pleasure, what's happening. Once it goes down,
but we enjoy fasting more.
Yeah.
You know, like,
once it goes down and the body's got to work with it, then it all depends on what we ate, of course. And then we go, holy geez, man, why did I eat? You know, it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed it. But, you know, I think I'm going to do all my best to reduce these times of joy of eating. And we work with that.
how many days do you see yourself like living, like doing the master fast as a lifestyle for good, like for, okay, let's say for the next 6 months?
So Gina just said to try to start at 2, but I would really like to start at 5.
Okay,
Go for it.
Do you see yourself staying on that level as a lifestyle?
For 6 months?
No, for the rest of your life.
Well, okay. Well, I thought you meant before, like my big fast. I mean, okay. I would say I would like that. I would like that.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Honestly, you
so
know.
You see yourself maybe going that way.
Right? Once you're done, remember this conversation. We'll come back to it.
So you see, you do see yourself. You can imagine, even like at least, right? You can imagine yourself living 5 days a week. So it's not crazy for you.
Yes.
Okay, then go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. If it doesn't work out, go lower level. Go
Be prepared.
Yeah, just be prepared. Be prepared. Take a lot of notes.
Okay.
The fasting's easy. The eating gets very difficult.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like for me, I forgot his name, but how he was sharing, like going back and forth, the eating and the fluctuating between the eating and fasting. I know that would be an issue for me. So to me, it's like almost easier the less I eat, because as soon as I eat, it's like I feel like I want to eat more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the addiction that gets triggered. As soon as you take that first bite.
Dan says yes.
The cycle right off.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah, you're doing it's great. At least you have, I mean, some people want to do level 5, but then they don't see themselves living level 5. So why do you do level 5? Don't do level 5, you know? But if you see yourself, go for it. I mean, if you come here and say, I see myself doing level 7, we say, sure, we support you. However, we've never really seen it happen. We haven't seen anybody become liquidarian just doing the master fast from the beginning.
Right.
No way. Everybody wants to eat. Yeah, everybody wants to eat. We want to eat still. You know, we still are eating. That's why we're eating. Yeah. But we eat less, you know.
Ivy, I did a couple very long fasts, and so I recommend just what Gino and Rana are saying, which is the very, very slow and just absorb the energy, take on the challenges in the smallest stages as you go, and be consistent, and just think. I'm sorry, Rana?
And the rewards, the challenges, and
Right, the challenges, right, exactly. And the changes too, the changes. They can be fruitful and they can be challenging. So yeah, I would agree. Slow is like, I'm sort of just beginning right now, and I'm trying to figure this out too. Even though I have a long past, but yeah, so the slow thing is, that's where I'm at even right now.
Thank you.
Awesome. So what are you doing, Lisa, these days? Sorry, we'll get back to Ivy.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to her. I do have one kind of a random question. Is it okay to do oil pulling with coconut oil for like my teeth, even though it's a fat? Do you
Yeah,
not
that's
recommend?
fine, because we're not swallowing it. You know,
Okay.
oils externally and oil pulling is fine. Have you ever tried tea pulling?
No.
Yeah,
Like
Much more powerful.
with like the kidney tea or different? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll try that.
We can use other herbs as well. You know that there's many herbs that we can use, but we use the kidney tea as a base. It's very simple,
yeah. If you see
powerful
the
herbs.
color of my tea, it's black. That's our kidney tea.
Yeah, we make ours very strong.
So we put lots of
Very strong. I drink that much. She always has cups, but I drink literally that much in my.
Does that have the tinctures in it, Rana?
Yeah. So there's also the tinctures, which will
Yeah.
give more color, but it's very dark.
Yeah.
Right?
I think mine is fairly dark also. I mean, I don't know if it's as dark as yours.
We put lots of herbs in it. We put like, I don't know, maybe,
It's more herbs and water.
maybe another, like we have 9 herbs in the kidney tea, but then we have maybe another 10 or 15 different
Yeah.
herbs extra.
From the garden, from wild picking and stuff.
Dry, whatever.
Are you reboiling the herbs
Yeah.
too? Yeah.
We change it once a week. We make a big pot once a week. We boil in the morning and in the evening. We add water, we boil it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we add herbs. And then I put maple syrup, a little bit of maple syrup in my tea, and then the tinctures, and then I put the tea. It's delicious. I love
We're
it.
after the fields, not the physicality, but you know, when you make it nice and strong, you don't have to drink a lot. And you know, because we're using water to make it, I don't want to put the water through me. I want the fields. Just like the tinctures. You don't need these things.
Very little
The
water.
juice, what are we using the juice for? It's the cleaner, right? It's the stripper. We're not after anything of the calories or the nutrition or whatever. Tastes great and we can enjoy drinking it, but it's a very powerful liquid Drano, as we call it.
Mhm.
It does a good job stripping, washing, like nothing
Wow.
else we've ever tried. You know, these pasteurized dark juices, they're very powerful strippers, and that's why we're really weary when people don't. They start drinking these juices and nothing else. I'm going.
Yeah, no.
I ended up in bed for 2 years after. Okay, go for it if you like, but don't we don't want to hear about it.
Ivy, are you doing enemas as well? Are you washing your colon?
Because
Yeah, I think you stepped out of the room. I'm doing just 4 liters every day, but I think you guys recommend like 6 to 10 liters. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once you start it.
yeah,
yeah.
it's very important. I don't think I've ever seen anybody recommend washing their colon as much as we do. Again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gino.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, like, so I've watched a little bit of the Keshi videos, and you know, generally, how do you like your whole world of numerology, you know, I understand 432 hertz listening to music and how it's supposed to equalize the brain hemispheres and all that. So like, but in terms of your numerology, like, is there any crossover that where you're in your belief system between your the numerology that you ascribe to and the principles of plasma physics?
The 432, it's a number of creation. It's nothing to do with numerology, John.
Well, no, but well, the only way I understand that number is like, because how people put music to it, to that frequency, and then it has a beneficial.
Yeah, when you tune instruments and you to that number, 432,
yeah,
instead of the 440, which is the music standard,
yeah.
we are in line, in sync, in harmony with nature and this universe. And that's why it's profound when you're around that tone versus the other tone. When you're in 440 or whatever other tone, the higher you go, the more dissonance. We are in a dissonant state, meaning there's a stress factor on the organic living organisms. There's a stress factor. You're not in harmony, and you know, where it's a form of a stimulant. You'll understand it better that way. You take a drug, a stimulant, that's the same as listening to music that's not in tune with nature and this universe. Animals, birds, bees, everything is in that 432 tone tuning. So we've seen profound differences with experiments we ran for a couple of years with this number, and it was always magical, especially when you're doing it around children. My goodness gracious, we've seen some magic happen. But that's all it is. It's the number of creation that came is one of the Keshe teachings way back, probably about close to 6 years ago. There's a teaching that he talks about 432 being the number of creation. And I just went, whoa, because when he was going through that, because we were already doing that many years prior. We were playing around with that number. You know, 4 plus 3 plus 2 is 9, divine 9. The cycles of 9, anytime you work with that 9 in nature, things happen much better, 432. So we like to work with that number because it brings balance. It really brings balance. You know, a friend of mine who I met many years ago, he was studying this back then, about 20 years, now it's like 30. He did a lot of research on 432, and he was starting to make music and so on and so forth. Right now, he was finding correlations with some scientists about 432 being able to correct what they call cancer and so on and so forth. And he's been blacklisted from Google on the internet. Like literally, it's you don't think that happens? It happens. So when you're, you know, look what's happening with all the censorship these past few months, like never before. It's anytime you start moving towards real truths, they get censored because, you know, they're trying to hide something. And when you move into the realms of the truths, you won't need them. You won't need any of their services. Once you live this lifestyle, you will not need to be going to doctors unless you're in some kind of accident where you break something or something. But for health-wise, I don't see anybody having to go to doctors anymore. For what? I have not gone to doctors in many years. Rana stopped going to doctors after she met me.
So So Gino, so like, okay, so 432, the Keshe Institute, they call it the number of God or
Number of creation.
creation. Okay, and then
The cycle
so
of
then,
how creation works. It goes 4, 3, 2. It goes back to 1 and starts the cycle again. I don't remember the specifics. It's a long time ago, but that's the basic scenario of how all creation works. 4, 3, 2, but goes back to 1, but starts again. And that's
so so then you have 9, which is a number that comes up a lot in, like Shakyamuni Buddha, took him 9 years to become enlightened. And then there are other things, 9, meditating in a cave for 9 years and, you know, living on nothing but stinging nettles and stuff like that. But anyway,
108 days.
Huh?
108 days. So 9, and it's a derivative of 4, 3, 2. 4 times.
Yeah.
Is a 4.
So, but I mean, because physics is based on mathematics. So are there other numbers that that are emphasized like that are of any interest to us?
Well, if you look into numerology, that's a whole different story, right? Every number has a certain meaning and so on and so forth. But the cycles of 9 is how creation works. I just work with that number. I love working with that number. I don't really put much more thought to it anymore after doing many experiments and seeing things like people talk frequencies. I stay away from frequencies. Frequencies are limited to matter state, and you can use frequencies to do good, and you can use frequencies to do harm, just like what they're trying to put up now, you know, with the 5 thing and so on and so forth. But, we've seen the negative side pretty strongly, and after what we experienced and witnessed, we didn't want to move away. We only want to work with the number 432 because that's the number of creation, and you're safe with that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
One of my friends, we thought we were going to lose him with a couple of experiments we were doing with frequencies, and people are playing with frequencies all the time. I see out there. I don't want nothing to do with that. When people talk frequencies, okay, go play. I don't want nothing to do with it. We've been down that road.
So if I could just ask you, as long as we're here, so, you know, because I told you I have an issue with glaucoma in my left eye, and like the idea of naturally healing eyesight, you know, that.
What are you gonna do with protein, John?
I know. Okay, I confess. I confess. But the thing is, like, okay, so eyesight and the ability of the mind to focus, right? So like if you're studying mathematics, if you're studying anything in terms of memory and the ability to focus on whatever it is at hand, and then eyesight, like I wanted to know if you have any cases where your people have, like, you know, like you, for example, you hear stories where, you know, somebody gets hit over the head, you know, they fall and they knock their head, and then they wake up the next day and they're like a mathematical genius or something like that. And it's like that really interests me. And I'm just wondering if you've had any incidences where people like really got down to having their memory, you know, short-term memory improve dramatically, or in your own case, your case.
I would say so.
I almost had no short-term memory after going through the high-fat raw vegan diet. It was like I would look at a number, I couldn't remember the number. It was that bad.
Yeah.
I gained a lot of it back. It's not perfect, but oh man,
It's more the
I-
focus, right? We focus much more. We're able to focus much better when we
And
are.
about the glaucoma, Steve, what were his numbers? What
Yeah,
about-
he told me.
Cut in half. 1 year, cut them right in half.
So, Joe, you know what, John?
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you at 108 days, full level 7. And then we're going to see what you do after.
No.
You mean, no, man. That's not pretty. That is not pretty. No, but you know, what do you mean? Like,
You're going to see massive improvements in a lot of things in that time. You're going
is to do 108.
You're going to experience the power of soul, of your soul.
Do level 5. I think you're ready for a higher level. I think you're ready
Yeah.
for a higher level, like maybe level 5, I would say.
Because that's just, you know, to be able to, like, it's just like you on the high fat vegan thing. It's like my short-term memory is bunk. It's just
Change it.
like, it's just not good.
Yeah.
I have a great long-term memory.
Yeah. You're living in an imbalanced state, and this is the things that come through living in an imbalanced state. But the physical, mental, emotional bodies are in an imbalanced state, and as we move towards balance, things correct themselves. That's the way it is. I can't say like the way I see now, everything is possible. Like just because we haven't seen something happen anymore, I don't say that it can't be
You
done.
don't need to see it anymore.
Because so many things surprised us, like blew us away,
So it's
that we've seen over and over and over. So
well, you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
for sure.
The definition of insanity.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And that's what Steve was saying. Change.
Yeah.
You gotta change something
we got to change. Like
We're not.
Yeah.
or not.
no matter, yeah, or not, no matter how difficult it may seem or hard or whatever. The fasting is the easy part. It's the eating that everybody has a challenge with.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Exactly.
We had guys, a few people from sad diets do 108 days. But what did they do after is the question.
Yeah.
So the fasting state, being in that state, because MFS, we have all these tools that support and keep the channels open and flowing. Everybody can do it.
If you
We've
really,
seen it.
Yeah, if you really want to see big changes, I would say do level 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah, even
Maybe
getting up to 4 or 5,
5.
it's starting to get powerful up to those levels.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
into past 5 and 6, believe me, even though you're eating once, twice, 3, it's power there. It's just to handle the back and forth, the fasting and eating.
Level 5, 6 feels like 108 days to me. I've done 208 days. And I can tell you level 5, 6 feels like level 180 in terms of releasing and cleansing. It's amazing. Yeah, you take a short break, which is great. It's very good to take a break because you don't want to go crazy away from food and then jump on food all of a sudden after 108 days. So it's good to take a break and do level 5 and 6.
We all have to become masters of our emotions. That's the key. And that's where every single one has a challenge with.
That's
You
why
master
you
your
go at your own
emotions.
level. But if you want more results, you'll have to go deeper.
Yeah. So Steve struggled with, addiction for a long time. And like, Steve, how is your memory? Like, are you, like, did you notice it like just go through the roof, or what happened?
I have no long-term memory, very little. I get
Long-term?
Yeah, long-term. I get bits and pieces from the past, but I blew that out big time.
Yeah. What about your short-term memory?
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, it's a little down now. Age is starting to take over a little bit. But
Did any of the long-term come back?
no.
No?
Nope.
Well, not
What
yet.
about
No, I have
meaning-
no recollections of childhood. Again,
no
some bits and
recollection?
pieces will pop in, but
Yeah, it'll be interesting for the future, Steve, because you've mentioned doing long fasts at some point.
Yep.
And so, no rush, but it will be interesting to see where that takes you in the future.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
We don't know.
maybe I'm keeping it buried, I don't know.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Very possible,
New memories.
very possible.
That's
still-
my
there's
memory
still-
improved
There's still a
too.
lot of shame and guilt attached to that. That's 27 years of my life. I was drunk.
Mhm.
So
A
you
lot of bad things, a lot of not nice things in that time.
so you don't have recollection of your childhood, and
Very
you
little.
attribute that to the addiction.
I started drinking at age 9. What do you think?
Yeah.
Age 9.
Yep.
And it was a serious
I was
addiction.
fully blown alcoholic by 16, probably before that.
Wow.
So your brain.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the formative years.
how did you manage
The
to?
drugs came at about age 11, 12. I mean, I'm 62 or whatever it is, 61. So I grew up in the 70s, and
Hmm.
there was a lot of street drugs in the 70s, let me tell you. And I did them all.
So how did you?
To excess. See, addiction is not my understanding. Addiction is not the substance or the action or the behavior. It's always more. You always want more.
100%.
Doesn't matter what it is. It's always more.
Yeah.
You never fill that freaking hole.
Right.
You can't fill it. It can't be done. It can't be done in the physical. It's only up there.
Yeah. Once you start nourishing the emotion, the soul,
Huge.
you will, everything will fall out.
Satisfying.
All those cravings and so on and so on, they all go away. So that's the key we
That's
have
the
to
biggest hope.
focus on is nourishing the emotion, the soul. And it's not going to be done with food. Absolutely not. Or any, material thing. So how are we going to nourish the soul? Well, there's many ways you can do it. Steve, loves being in the garden. Somebody might, need the yoga, or somebody might be loving to do whatever.
Many things. Yeah.
It's endless. There's many, 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 many ways of nourishing the soul. And living your purpose, doing what you came here to do. If you're at a job that you're not happy with, guess what? More than likely, you're going to be moving towards some kind of substance to numb out that emotional discomfort. So whether it's drugs, whether it's food, whether it's sex, whatever it is, alcohol.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anything that changes that state.
Yeah. So, we move to things in the physical to numb out our emotions so we don't feel it in the physical. And we get into that numbed out state. But, it's just a vicious cycle that brings us to more and more and more imbalance. That's all it does. So we've all experienced that. We all know what we're talking about. We're all experts at eating, that's for sure. We've been doing it for decades. So it's time to come to the new understanding and focus on working with the fields versus focusing in this matter state. And that's all we focus in Master Fast. Focus on the fields. We've been doing the matter thing. We've been doing the wars. We've been doing all that stuff. Doesn't work. Just spirals you out to more and more confusion in the sciences and all that stuff. Yeah, there's some sciences where there may be some validity and stuff, especially the newer stuff, the quantum and so on and so forth. But the stuff that's all backed by the dollar sign, it's been changing so often. I can't believe people still follow it. Every few years, something changes. They find something new, and blah, 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 blah. It's all mumbo jumbo. So you have to be really wary about where the information is coming from, who's funded it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what do we say? Don't need to know anything. Trust and soul, surrender. Let everything work in autopilot, because trying to figure anything out, it's a losing battle is what I found all these years about going after all that stuff. It got me, just got me in trouble. Almost got myself killed a couple times. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's has nothing to do with the laws of creation. Once you move into the realm of the understanding of laws of creation, we just maybe have a little scratch of surface of understanding. That's it. We don't know anything. Once you move in that realm, everything changes, and you're going to see profound changes happen, as we've seen over and over. So take it day by day. Just enjoy every moment, and do the best you can in the situation you're in. That's all we can do. We can't force things. We can't push things. People who have tried pushing themselves, and a lot of them are not around. And, a few of them got themselves in real trouble, which is not fun. Not fun. Most of them didn't follow the protocol, pushing their dry fast way too much, not drinking enough, not doing enough enemas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, I went through that, and people, I guess they don't believe me. They want to experience that. That's why they're doing it. They just don't want to listen to any of the 3 decades plus of information, of experiences, and believe that they can do it better, like yourself, John. Because I was one of those.
No, wait a second. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm here to ask questions.
No, you said earlier, I want to try and make it better. That's the way I have the same mentality.
Look, I don't like the way like your thought processes just for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Like I was asking about like vision and mental clarity and stuff, but like, no, I really appreciate this a lot. And like, so the thing is, like, the people from Keshe Foundation, right? Like, I didn't watch too much of that, but like, if you're dealing with plasma physics and people who are interested in, the unified principles of the entire universe, right? So like, do they have any religious leanings, or like, are they atheistic, or are they, cause like you're talking about creation, so that means there's a creator, and forget Christianity and all that. But like, those people stop thinking about plasma physics at some point and then start thinking about the idea of God. I'm asking you because I don't really know where they're coming from.
The theme is where the soul meets science. So in science, most of them are atheists, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the whole new understanding, where the soul meets science. And that's the theme of the whole Keshe Foundation. I can't say that I have a full understanding of it, but the little understanding that I learned from that is why Master Fast is here. It was a big revelation from those teachings, and we now know without doubt it's all about the fields. If you can't see that, I can't make you see that. For me, it's clear. It's so clear. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The plasma. The plasma came first.
So, but if you talk about creation, it's not coming from a mindset that is atheistic, right? It's like, or is it, or is the idea of creation, it's not questioned, so it's not necessarily implying a creator.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Your soul is the creator, which comes direct from the one creator, which we're all connected to.
Mm-hmm. So like the idea of a all-knowing creator, it's not anything that's like offensive to you or to like the Keshe people.
No, like for religions, he sees the religions will be all coming to an end.
Yes,
That's what he sees
absolutely.
with this new understanding.
And by religion, you mean a codified religion that's like written down, or do you mean like revelation?
How many religions are there on the planet?
30,000.
30,000? I can't remember. It's a crazy.
Yeah, there.
3,000. I can't remember. It's a lot. So everyone that grew up in that religion believes that's the one for them. Some of them change when they grow up and so on and so forth and go different ways. So what if they're all right or what if they're all wrong? You know, at the end of it all, everyone is believes that their creator is the one, but it's all one creator.
Yep.
That's right. It's
well, yeah, that's what I believe. I mean,
even though like, let me explain it. Even though we have individuality as a soul, as a field strength individual, we can't separate from the source where we came from. So your field strength of consciousness decided that it wanted to manifest in this physicality, in this realm here. So it created your physical body. It chose parents, bang, you know, at a certain time, and you were created here. So you were the master of that because your soul wanted to come into this realm and experience all this, all these the wonderful pleasures of this realm, which are many. It's endless. There's so many pleasures here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And you know, the basics of creation is environments dictate outcome. So your soul had to find the perfect environment for you to manifest yourself. So it had to find a male and a female at a perfect timing. Bang! Environment dictates outcome. So then there was that spark that created you in this realm, and then you grew in the 9 months in the womb, and you popped out. So same thing happens with all the animals and every single life form on this planet. There has to be an environment in the physicality for it to be able to get manifested. For a fish, a dog, a cat, or whatever. None of these things came into being by what they call evolution. That's a crock of shit, that evolution. It's got more holes than a pasta strainer. It's total nonsense, this evolution thing. And you know, even there's more and more like Greg Braden and so on and so forth. You know, he also says, you know, all the new sciences is showing that's an impossibility. The evolution. It's just, even though they're still teaching it in the schools because it costs too much money to change the books and stuff, so on and so forth. It's just ridiculous, the whole concept of this or whatever. But it's weird. It's a dumbed down. You know, the whole education system is a dumbed down system. It's to dumb us all down, to keep us away from our true capabilities of a being of light. You know, because we are limitless in what we can do. We don't believe it because we've been dumbed down. That's all it is. You know, just look at what happens with massive fasters. Just letting go and letting the soul take over. Bang! My God, we see things that we never seen before. So can you imagine when we continue going down this path as a collective, as a group, and moving down the next 5-10 years, we're going to see way more amazing things happen. It's just the way it is. It's just going to go down that route. Is it with the side by side, you know, working with the plasma science and so on and so forth, with the GANS materials. You know, we've seen miracles happen with just GANS materials, and people aren't changing their diet. You know, my friend in Italy rebuilt his daughter's brain. She was in a comatose state on her deathbed. He rebuilt her brain with GANS materials. You can watch that testimony, blow you away. You know, there's lots.
Who's that? What's that guy's name?
Giovanni Lap. I'd have to look up the last name. I don't remember off the top of my head.
But he was a guest of yours?
No, I was in Italy with him. And he was one of the students. And his daughter and her boyfriend worked for Kesh at the school in Italy. And I left when it was in May. And it was not long after, maybe a month or two, I can't remember, not long after I left, they got in this so-called quote unquote accident, the boyfriend and her and his daughter, and he was killed instantly, and she was comatose. Many broken bones in the body, face crushed, and a lot of problems, severe comatose. And even the hip, there was a hip that was a complete break. And you can see how the body, the soul rebuilt that. We can't even tell where the break is anymore. We're just GANS materials. How does that happen? Does that happen with drugs? Absolutely not. These things can only happen with the soul. And you know, when you work with GANS materials, you're working with fields, and you're working with the soul. You're working at the soul level. This is what we're doing in Massifest. We're working with the soul level. We're working with a higher order of substances, dead physically. We're working with higher order. And this is where it was very, very difficult for so many people, especially the ones coming from Ra's Law, to try and understand how Massifest could even work. Because they're looking at physical, and they'll never be able to understand it. Instead, you don't need to understand it. Just follow the protocol and let the soul work in autopilot, which is all we kept saying for all these years, and watch the magic unfold. Forget about all the nonsense we've been taught. It's all nonsense, because otherwise this wouldn't work.
Right.
And they would be right. If they were right, why are they coming over here? Because they still have challenges they couldn't resolve, eating their Ra's Law, you know, fruitarian diets and so on and so forth, and chugging away their herbs. It's only going to get you so far. It's not. I mean, we're not putting it all down. Everything has a purpose and justification for our experiences. But you know, we're moving into this realm, into the fields, and slowly but surely, we're going to see more and more people moving in the direction of eating less and less and less. And some people will let go of food completely. We're going to see more of that. And then some people are, you know, staying on liquids. And then you're going to see more and more people letting go of liquids. The longest living breatharian that we know just passed away. 75 years, no food. He was 90 years old in India. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Elatone was, he's like, I never saw him before until yesterday, and he's that guy's got it going on, you know. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
But so in the Keshi people, though, like whatever it is, you know, you're talking about where science meets God, or creation, science meets creation.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, they're driven, like, at, you know, it's a very positive, optimistic, whatever's behind the universe is an extremely positive power, right? That's essentially what they're saying. It's very positive, you know, whether it's atheistic or not, right?
Universes can only work and run continuously in peace, balance, and correct conduct. They cannot have been functioning all these billions of years without that basic principle. They have to
Yeah.
be in that perfection of peace, balance, correct conduct. If not, everything would self-destruct. It would.
So what about joy? Like you know, in the Christian Bible, there's this idea of joy, which is, you know, if you think of peace, balance, and correct conduct, you know, those are some phrases that are perfectly fine. But I'm just wondering, there's also a feeling of absolute joy that, you know, in life.
Bliss, joy, ecstasy, there's all kinds of stuff. These are states of consciousness.
Get into the fasting state and you'll experience at some level. Just
Well,
you'll experience bliss. That's joy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do.
That's not going to happen in the physical. It cannot.
I don't know if that's true, but I definitely experienced joy in my life. So I just wanted to get your take on that. Like, that's an additional word that is used in religious contexts, and so you guys are more into the peace, balance, and correct conduct, which is a beautiful thing. So I was just asking you what you thought about the word joy, you know.
It's a state of consciousness.
Yeah.
There's many states. When we move, when we move out of the state of peace, balance, correct conduct, there's no joy, there's no love, there's only disaster and destruction. When we stay within that, there's the joy, there's the bliss, there's the ecstasy, love, etc., 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 etc. Right? There's these things bring forth creation and expand. The other ones is opposite. So why do we want to choose the other ones? Well, if we look on this planet, the warmongers, what have they been doing? They've been, you know, destroying this planet, and you know, we as humanity have accepted it and allowed it to happen. So now's the time to change that. And how are we going to change that? Well, we can't change everybody out there. We can only work with this. That's all we can work with. So we do the best we can to live in that peace, balance, correct conduct. Like, that's all, you know, we're putting that out more and more and more. And, you know, how many people come to the group and they just run when they see that? Because they're not ready for that. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I've seen a lot of people go through the group. And that scares people. You know, some kind of cult and this and that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, cultivating ultimate love together. This is what the Master Fast cult is. But, John, we don't have all the answers. We're all here together. We're all learning together. We're expanding together. We've learned a lot. In the last 5 years, we've learned a lot more. A lot, which is still nothing in the realm of creation. But we've learned a lot by people living and loving this lifestyle. We've learned so much, and we'll see those updates happen every once in a while in the protocol as the more and more we learn this. You know, we moved more away from people doing the long fast. Somebody who's experienced for a couple of years living this lifestyle, yeah, I'll support. You know, I'll support them doing a long MFS, because now they have the understanding. They've done, you know, whatever, and if they feel they're emotionally ready to jump that, because doing a level 7 for an extended period of time, like 108 days, you're going to have really magical things that happen where you're not going to see in the same extent when you're eating. Even if you're eating like 1-2 days a week, you're not going to see that. The digestive system needs to stop for an extended time.
Level 5 is strong.
It's strong, but you can't compare them. It's you can't compare them.
You know what? I would rather do level 5 over 108 days.
Yeah, well.
No question. Because they're coming out of it. 108 days wasn't fun. Level 5 for 108 days, you feel Yeah, it's very deep. It's very deep because you're most of the time you're empty. That's the whole thing. Most of the time you're empty. 5 days a week you're empty. 2 days a week you're eating lighter because you can't eat too heavy anyways.
Yeah, this is not about there's a profound difference when you're on strictly on fields for extended period of time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Then
There's no
go
comparison.
liquidarian.
Yeah.
Then go liquidarian if you want to do that. But you're living on fields for 5 days a week. That's not enough. Until you want
For most people, yeah, because the concepts of and their emotional state, they just don't have an understanding what it is to live on
100%
fields.
you mean of people? 100% of people. Nobody can comprehend. No way.
I'm not gonna, yeah, how can you say it's 100%? It's impossible.
Who is the who has done 108 days and came out of it feeling amazing? Feeling amazing, breaking it with food. No way.
I feel freaking amazing. I know. I've been doing this so long.
Yeah, I would not recommend 108 days to.
I've taken total responsibility for whatever I do. I don't have to point fingers at anybody because I've been doing it for so long, and nobody's going to try and convince me that there's anything different in that. It's the long, full level 7s are a profound difference than when somebody's eating. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You can't compare it. 5s and 6s are powerful, but you cannot compare it to
How much
level
more
7.
powerful do you want to get? It's fine. Good enough. Good enough.
For most people, yeah. One of the levels is where they need
Well,
to.
the people who do
start
108
on.
days will eat one day. They're gonna feel like crap. No, not a good idea. The people who are doing 108 days are gonna eat one day. So prepare yourself from the beginning.
Everybody's got to choose their path.
Yeah, everybody's gonna choose their path, but I haven't seen it succeed for anyone. I've seen lower levels better for people. 100%. For me.
One quick question. Hello.
Go ahead, Dance.
Hi. I've been out of the loop on Facebook. I just wanted to know what happened to Rana, because she was doing very long master fast and she didn't eat for quite a while.
Right.
Did she break it all okay?
Who's that?
Rana?
Yeah. Oh, Rana, not
Ranjit.
Ranjit. Thank you for whoever corrected me. Yes, Ranjit.
You'd have to ask her.
Okay. Because I just remember her just getting so excited and happy about not eating and doing a long extended master fast. I just wondered whether she actually broke it all right. If she was one of the very few who broke her long extended master fast, okay.
She's doing fine.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Emotionally up and down. I think she comes forward as someone who is always in ecstasy.
Yeah.
But she also admitted that a couple of times she's curling up and crying through the night for a few hours. So it's not all roses and tulips, right?
No, of course not.
But she's very dedicated to her goal of staying off food. She doesn't want to eat anymore.
So she's still doing the master fast?
Yes. Full master fast.
Oh, okay. Good for her. It's great.
Yeah, lots of dry fasting. She's a coach for dry fasting. Comes out with the dates. Everybody, come on, dry fast. But she does not promote MFS, a master fast system, on her little offshoot of group. But she recommends to everyone to come to this group and clean our inner tubes out first. Definitely. She's a big inspiration. So keep inspired. I'm getting on the wagon every 10 days and fall off and keep going. I really don't get the
Rana, for example, comes across to me as you, like the Tibetans, they prepare for death all their lives because now you know how to die. I guess I'm more idealistic, and I just want to go with the full 108 and beyond. Like Maureen, who's who's doing the herbs, herbal teas. He does other things. I heard about Marinella, a good friend of his, that he's still on the grape juice, liquidarian, and a green juice here and there, and herbal tinctures. 3 years now, I think. Yes, so it's possible.
Yeah, I did hear you talking about Marine.
Yes.
Who had the lymph nodes taken out.
Yeah.
I heard the Zoom interview with him a few years ago. That was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing fine.
Yeah, 20 surgeries.
Yeah, amazing.
I didn't even know it was possible to actually take out all of your lymph.
We didn't either. They put catheters through them.
That's bonkers.
It is bonkers.
You know what's weird is that I was pulling roots out of my yard, and some were quite deeply buried, and they went on for tens of feet. And I was imagining the lymphatic system.
That must have been so painful. But it is very inspiring to know someone who's so dedicated to continue doing the master fast for that long.
We're all, it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're doing one of the levels, you're master fasting.
Yeah.
To come into master fast is to say that you want to stop eating. That's the wrong attitude. You're going to fail. Just like, Tom says, people come to me, they want to stop eating. I don't want to talk to them because you're not getting the understanding. You need to nourish the emotion. You need to nourish the soul. When the body, when you're ready, it'll all happen in its own time. That you're just not going to be needing to eat anymore because you're taking care of the nourishment. So that's the key to find the place to work on cleaning the physicality, because we know that's a big key, to clean out the physicality and continuously clean it. So then we can focus more and more on the emotional.
That's exactly it, Gino. You emphasize that you have to clean up the physicality. Elitom came only ahead and started teaching when he finally got that under control. Until then, he didn't have the downloads. So fasting is a part of it. So you have to face that discipline that you have to do it. Eating 5 days or 6 days, and fasting 6 days and eating 1 day is not going to help you. You're still going to stay gunked up. It's not going to drive you to that insight, to where you want to go. It's like, why?
Eating 5-6 days?
No, I'm sorry. Fasting 6 days and eating 1 day. Each time I tried it, Rana. Each time I eat, I'm like, oh man, how am I going to start on Monday? I can't.
For how long did you try?
Okay, just 3 months, fine.
3 months?
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah, that's long.
And it's not working because it's the chewing. The chewing is extremely starting my whole mechanism. Like, oh man, now what's next? What can I eat next? And it was mangoes. It's always mangoes and watermelon and amazing papayas now. And
you're only eating fruits when you're eating?
Pardon me?
You're only eating fruits when you're eating?
No. But I do, and then that's when the machinery starts going. Okay, I'm starting chewing. I want something heavier, something stronger, and then I'm boom back into my junky vegan stuff that I don't really want to talk about. I'm very ashamed.
And by the way, I want to mention that you're saying I take the easy, like the more cautious road or path. I've been doing this for 5 years. I met Gino 5 years ago, and I started.
You did a 108 though. You did a 108.
I started my first one, like my first fast was 108 days. And then, but it was easy for me because I did, before I met Gino, I did 100-day raw juice fast by myself, no guidance. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I met Gino 2 years after. And it was precise, beautiful protocol. And I knew he knew what he was talking about compared to what I was doing, you know, like I had no clue. And everything was designed to help me release. And the stuff that came out inspired me, and I just fell in love with everything. So I started with 108 days. Yes, it was easy. I always knew that I was gonna eat. I heard about breatharianism during this 108 days, but I was not thinking to become breatharian at all. But I just wanted to clean up properly. And then when I broke it, when I broke the 108, I watched pretty much every breatharian video out there. I was like, how do they do it? Because this doesn't feel good. And so I was thinking about it, but then it's really hard to think about giving up food, right? Very quickly like this. And so I did another long fast, 75 days, and then I did whatever. I did a few long ones, more than 108 days. I did 2. And 2 times in the past 5 years, I wanted to become liquidarian. I was fine. I was fine with it. Somehow it was okay. And I said to myself, and it was always after an anger of eating, you know, like falling off, feeling like crap, and then saying, that's it, I am done with food. And I did that twice. I said to myself, I started 2 master fasts, saying to myself, I'm going to be liquidarian. I don't want to eat. And after a month or 2, there's no more cravings, right? So you really don't care about food. But I was not, I feel after I broke them, I realized that I really am not ready for this after I broke them. So I did have the extreme. I'm a kind of person who would go to an extreme, no question. I know myself. But I say honestly, it's very important for us to love ourselves and, respect where we are today. You know, I don't need to be liquidarian. I don't need to hate food. I love food. I always want to love food. I don't need to, I don't know. I mean, I don't need to be too different from every human being around me. I'm already too different when I did raw food. I was different when I fasted, like master fast. To become too different and never eat again is a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much.
I just find that your new levels, and it's you who really pushes it forward and wanted to get it geared. I think it's like breaking your leg every week. Like, why do I have to go through that pain of breaking my leg? If I'm going nice and smooth, let me go through.
Trust me, I know all what you're saying. I wrote it all down for myself to become liquidarian. I had to write this down to become liquidarian. And I did say to myself, I said it many times. When many people who did long fast were with us on Zooms. I said, I'm lying to myself to say that it's okay to go back to eating. But you know what? I really don't have to think like this. It's too extreme. It's kind of negative. No, we don't need to lie to ourselves. Enjoy everything. If you feel that,
but then you don't get the extras. You're gonna be just the same. You want to improve, no?
If I feel the strawberry smells beautiful and I want to eat it, I should eat it. If I want to eat it, no big deal. It's not the end of the world. You're not gonna get everything. Yes, you're not gonna get everything.
Right.
I don't need to be God. I don't need to be God. I don't need to be perfect. Let's take our time to develop. And honestly, I have not seen one person become liquidarian master fasting.
Well, Ranjit is.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not in touch.
She said she is. All she does is grape juice and dry fast. That's
Some
it.
people might have eaten here and there. I know Elitam has eaten. you know, like here and there. He doesn't even tell us when was the last time he ate, for example. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's pretty sly about it. Yes.
But many people are, and he's honest, and I prefer honesty. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know people. I really don't know most people, but I can tell you, I haven't seen a close person who just goes liquidarian and stops eating immediately. I don't see it.
It's a many year journey for most of them.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, why stop it with these levels? Why can't you just say, okay, keep trying, keep back onto the treadmill?
Listen, so the levels are for you to choose. If you come to us saying, I want to do level 7 for life, by all means. We already said, we say that to everyone.
And I fail miserably every 10, 11 days, and boom, down.
Exactly, so you're not ready.
No.
You're not ready.
I think it makes sense to have these levels.
Okay.
It creates structure for some people, and it also allows individuals to understand why they're so addicted to food, and to be able to deal with their emotions when it comes to binging or when it comes to restricting. I think the levels are really important. Well, I speak for myself, really, and maybe one of other 2 people that I know.
We're dealing with humanity that has been eating for who knows how long.
Right.
So now that, you know, we're in the consciousness of knowing and understanding that we can choose a different form of energy versus food, we're going to see more and more of that happening, and it is. So for people, some people go into it, I don't know what they think they're going to gain from. They think they're going to be more angelic or something by not eating physical foods. You know, I've went
turn
without
into
food.
God. Turn into
I've
God.
went out without food for a long time. Yeah, you're gonna get into that wonderful state and get a lot of downloads. Yes, for sure. I know Elton shared with me. You know, as he was going through the years, he would go into long times without eating and drinking. First, he started with liquids, and then later he left the liquids, and that was much more difficult. But he said he would go to his favorite restaurant after. You know, it's amazing he survived, because some people will die.
He ate sushi.
Some people will die.
I know. It's incredible.
Well, people don't die fasting; they die eating. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, because it's one meal or two.
What MFS has is a structure, a beautiful, simple structure that's safe and effective to clean the physicality like nothing else. And that's where MFS shines. Where you want to take it, how far you want to go, it's up to you.
Yeah, and Elitam has been in this at least 20 years, right? At least 20 years. He starts with vegan and then slowly around vegan, and so lighter and lighter. Yes, ups and downs and junk sometimes, maybe. I don't know, but like, of course, everybody goes through that. Most people. Marine is that, like, really, Marine has gone to like a completely different place, because he was dying. If he doesn't fast, he's done.
He knew that he could not go back to food if he wanted to live, and he chose to live. That's 1 in 100 million, maybe a billion people.
And I think almost a year.
That's going to do that, because we've seen so many people that come with whatever cancers and this and that, and they're not willing to make the changes.
Yeah, not like Marine. Marine was on his deathbed.
Yeah, he was the worst of the worst case we've ever seen, and he made it through. Like you know, when he came to me, I go, Marine, everything's possible. How much do you want to live? What are you willing to do? And you know, when people say things to me, in the back of my mind, I go, yeah, okay, because I've been at this for so long, and nobody stuck with it. And he surprised me.
After a year,
he was one that surprised me.
After about a year, he did smoothies, right? Because he wanted to slow down, I guess, the detox. And then Gino told him, well, this slows down. I don't know, why did he do smoothies? But I remember Gino said, you know, if you want to heal, you want to get back on the fasting. And so he went back on fasting and he stopped eating. But he said when he got back on the smoothies, his cravings came back. And I remember, I think Marinella mentioned that he was craving
That's
fish.
right.
Yeah.
Eating makes you hungry. Drinking makes you thirsty. We know that. It's clear.
Right. But
So-
what I like the most, what brings me back to this system is the grape juice has enough information. Okay, I know you talk about field strength, but he has enough information for the body to sustain it long enough so that you can clean. Just keep cleaning, but I tried water fasting every year, twice. I always go down here like 16 days. I can hardly lift my arm up. So because
Because it stresses the body.
big time. So I gave up that one up completely. But so I'm trying. That's why I'm trying the Master Fast, and I see the wisdom in it, definitely. I did have an issue about the sugar quantity, but I got over it and just sip it and really enjoy it. Now I'm putting ginger juice in, ginger and lemon into the.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really nice. I got this organic ginger extract, just ginger juice, nothing.
We got to let go of the mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because what that is the programming that we've all been indoctrinated with, and that's why we keep coming up with all these different questions. You know, I went through the phase when I went through the high-fat raw vegan. I left sugar because I started believing the science again. What a big mistake that was, man! It almost killed me. So, you know, we have the new understanding now. It's not about the matter state. So let that go, and then you'll see that through your experience and through the experiential, your soul will shine the light and make you understand, because the information's there.
You're right.
We don't need to know how everything works exactly, but we do know that what we're doing here works. That's what we know. We thousands and thousands of times people have done it. We know what it does now. So we just refine it to make it so more and more people can sustain it as a lifestyle. That's the key. The biggest key is sustain as a lifestyle. From people coming from 7 days a week and they come in here and they start, 5 days a week eating, that's a huge change. Huge for most people. And then they start cleaning up their diet when the days they're eating, and it moves forth like that. And that's the way it's going to be for most people until the consciousness, we start getting into the 100th monkey syndrome, where the consciousness is elevated and more people will just, be going without food because they're getting their nourishment through the fields. It's going to happen. It's happening.
You're just watching around. I eat right now.
I just broke my dry.
Oh yeah.
Fruit.
Oh nice. Yes. What I wanted to say is that what I was trying to say is that the grape juice and the tinctures allow us to
keep going
long enough from the chewing so that you don't crave the chewing. That's why I don't like the levels, because then you go back into the chewing so that these muscles and the stimulation to the brain is just happening, and it's not going to help me reach what I want to reach, which is
you know what? I'm not a big fan of doing fruit smoothies and stuff. Have you ever tried doing just smoothies on the eating days?
I guess I have to.
So then you don't have to chew. You're just.
Yeah. Also, you could do soups.
Soups.
Oh, that triggers the salt and spice.
No salt.
Turmeric and yeah.
So the emotion is still something to work at here.
That's right, for sure. So that's why I like the grape juice. It's monotone. There's no sweeter or less sweet. It is the same sweetness over again every day. There's no change.
So Aranka,
there's no stimulation. You get into this really clear 10 days.
So I mean, you're saying that when you do level 7, you fall off. So
all the time.
What's the solution? And you
keep trying. I don't want to get into this
Forget about the way you're just doing it, and you're gonna go through.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep
part of
going.
it.
It's like falling off of a treadmill and getting back on.
Enjoy it.
Instead of purposefully dropping my leg down into the mud. Say, oh, okay, now I'm gonna experience muddiness, and then go back onto the treadmill and walk again.
Yeah, but then you're like, you know you're gonna fall. Like you're living knowing that you're gonna fall. Instead, I would say I would just enjoy that journey, you know, until I am ready to let go instead of falling. Just let go of what I don't need. So you can, you know.
You don't get the same feeling when you eat every 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
When you fall, that's not a fun feeling. At least when you.
No, it isn't. No, it's very demeaning. That's very.
Yeah, at least when you're planning, you're not eating the junk vegan.
Oh.
Because you're happy about it. You're planning, okay, I'm gonna have my fruits now. I'm not gonna fall off into.
We will come to the point. We'll crack the code of emotion so we don't need to.
I'm waiting for it, Gino. Yeah.
We don't need to eat physical foods. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Patient, we'll get there because
maybe one of your herb combination. Boom. No more desire to chew.
That's the payment.
A lot of us are putting that intent and emotion there, right? It's a much being in that state, especially the dry fasting state. You know, it's a whole different experience of freedom. It truly is. For anybody who's not done long dry fasts, you know, it's a whole different place when you get into those states. Like there's very, very, very few people on the planet living with no liquids and no food. Very few.
Victor was for a while, about 10 years.
He's not anymore?
No, he started drinking last year. He said his skin started showing impetigo, like big patches of no color. He's a Argentinian, so he's a little bit darker, and he started whitening. And
really? He started drinking?
Yeah, just water, just sips of water.
Okay.
So basically, there's nobody. Well, there's the Indian guy.
He died. He died on the 26th.
How old was he?
90. 75 years.
75 years.
No food, no water. Yeah.
At an early age of 90, you makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder: is that the answer? Absolutely not, right? It's not about the food.
That's right. That's right.
It's about the level of consciousness where we can express and our soul.
He was a Jain practicing meditator, living in a cave, coming out just on holidays. Like, what else do you have to do to reduce the stress, to reduce and so my husband just says, it's just karma. Just give it up. Whatever your karma is, that's what it is. I think, oh no, come on. You can't be like that.
Well,
yeah, but he might have been needed elsewhere too. You never know how things work.
Yeah, it's just I'm done here. Ciao.
Like Yogananda, he died way too early. I mean, at age 62. Come on. I needed him another 50 years so I can see him in person, right?
Yeah, but you can't question that stuff.
No.
There are other factors.
Yeah, you know, there's people who choose to leave the body at certain times, and they're done here. That's it.
Yeah, they turn 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and boom, they're gone.
So, you know, the feeling that we go through fasting versus eating is a big difference. So, if we're going to eat, let's minimize it. Let's choose the ones that are going to be the least obstructive. Enjoy it. That's it. And when we're ready to do longer breaks, we do longer breaks. No big deal. But, you know, I know what you're saying, Aranka, and everybody else. Once you do that long digestive vacation, you go to food. Yeah, you're going to feel it. But, hey, it's part of the journey. No big deal. Don't stress over it.
Oh no, no, I'm not, I guess I'm just maybe talk that way, but I'm perfectly okay whatever happens. I resigned of striving for something. It will happen.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to make a goal. Okay, I'm going to stop eating. No, don't make that goal. Believe me, it's not.
I know. For George's in Germany, he says, "Oh, I'm a liquidarian," and he had to give up at 40, at age 40. I mean, at day 40.
Mm.
And I was rooting for him. I watched his videos every day. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And I was drinking with him, right? But
yeah, of course, it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself that you're going to say, I'm going to stop eating. It's going to come. It's going to come when you're ready, if that's what's supposed to happen.
okay, so the reason I jumped into this conversation is because of Elitom. Elitom did not have the wisdom when he was a raw foodist, when he was making culinary whatever out of raw food. No, he did.
100%, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not 100%. Maybe.
He was 90% raw foodist, and he was even teaching classes how to make raw pizzas and raw soups and all that stuff. Anyway, my point was, the only download came to him, and when he finally kicked the food away. It doesn't come until then. There's something that's stopping that. And
yeah, but before he came here, he was where was he? That island, was it Canary Island?
Yeah.
No. He was in Israel. He came from Israel back.
No, he lived in Canary Island.
He was.
Oh yeah, he did for a while because the wife kicked him out.
That's the first time I actually spoke to him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I followed him for years, watching him. I've seen his transformation.
Yes, me too.
Liquid
He used to be actually chubby, round-faced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I spoke to him at that time, I said, "Hey, Thomas, how's it going, bud?" I go, "When was the last time you ate?" And that time he said it was like a few months back when his son came to visit him. And then all this time went by, and then he started doing more of touring and so on and so forth. And then he just happened to be here in Toronto area, so I invited him over. And he told me, he goes, it's a mistake that people want to stop eating. Number one. Number two, you have to have something to feed to give you the energy. So what does he use? He uses meditation. He uses qigong. Right?
Right.
Very important. And what do these do? They nourish the emotion. They give you nourishment. If you don't have those in your life consistently, forget about trying to give up food. It's not going to happen. You will starve.
What he's saying that is, you cannot be a breatharian or a pranic person out of practical reasons because you don't want to spend money on food.
Right.
You don't go to the toilet. Right. I totally get it. You have to slow down, and you have to really believe in that placebo effect so that you actually stop producing ketones. It's people think that these breatharians live on ketones because of all there's no ketones. It stops.
Yeah, you smell the keto when
Oh no. Well, yeah, that you smell, right.
You don't smell it when you're doing it as a lifestyle, master fast and dry fasting. You don't smell that stuff. You smell it from people who, I guess, who are eating protein and stuff.
No. What I'm just saying is that, for example, these two French fellows, Henri Montfort and Gabriel Lescoy, they're both only drinking water, tiny amounts of water. Henri drinks a tiny amount of coffee, black coffee, because he's a shaman. He actually communicates with the ethers of the coffee beans. He drinks like a minuscule amount. He's in his 70s, and he's been doing it since 2008 or 9. So he's doing it for quite a while. What was I saying? That they don't have ketones. They're just on water.
What's his last name? What's his last name, Henri?
Henri Montfort, Monfort.
Yeah, it's in Breatharian world, right?
Mm-hmm. and he's very, the way he transitioned into it is he had a 2-year fasting protocol of eating 2 days and fasting 2 days. So that just proves you right, Arana, that it works. But I don't know. It just, as long as I eat, I want to eat. I just can't stop. Something.
As long as we have obstructions, we're going to crave.
Yeah.
As long as we have
Exactly.
obstructions in
That's
our
it.
physical, mental, and emotional.
But
we
you
need to
know,
work on cleaning
when-
those out. The more you clean out, the less cravings and the easier it's going to be.
100%. So it has to take time. If after 3 months
So
you're still having cravings,
we-
it means like you're still
We
having
found the
obstructions.
easiest,
Major cravings. Yeah.
the easiest way to get to the mental and emotional is by cleaning the physical. That's the easiest way I found.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's why I like 108 days is a really good start. That's what you said for the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's a good start
Yeah,
to the lifestyle, to the
But
journey. Yeah.
Aranka, like you have experience,
start.
you know, like I mean, I would say 108 day, go for it. You
Well,
have,
I am on it. It just, I keep falling off.
Mm.
Every 10 days. So, oh, boom. Oh, no.
What was the longest stretch you did?
On Masterfast?
Yeah.
11.
11.
Just, I start questioning it. Oh, this is not the right thing. Let's do celery juice instead. So I go into his loop-de-loo and then I break it with juice and then fruit and then junk.
Do you wash your colon as well? You do the whole protocol?
Every day. That I would never miss it. I'm a junkie.
Yeah, like what we've seen is, and it's usually the 2-week mark where people start releasing the really old stuff starts coming out.
I had black soot coming out. Black soot. Like almost powdery stuff. And I didn't take, it was before MFS, but black. I don't even drink coffee back then.
That's not coffee.
I've had black plaque come out of me when I did my first 40-day fast, just drinking the juice. But
yeah.
my body was so toxic, I ended up in bed for 2 years, right?
Did you do enemas in that 40-day fast?
I did enemas. Yeah, that's all I did is drink the juice and enemas, and my body went into a complete shock because the stagnant areas in the
I can see it.
Organs and stuff weren't able to release the toxins and burnt out my kidneys and bladder. It was a wonderful, amazing experience of pain and agony and misery for 2 years. So.
Is it because you didn't do the herbs, Gino?
No, that was when I started 30 years ago.
And you didn't do any dry fasting?
No.
So why did eating grapes and doing enema hurt you so much? Is it because you didn't have the tinctures, herbal tinctures?
We didn't have the knowledge that we have today. It's not just, it's the whole program.
He just started. He didn't know what he was doing. He read the book. He didn't know.
You know, I did it with cooked grape juice. It's a powerful stripper.
Too fast.
Didn't know what fields were. Didn't know the dead or alive. Didn't know, about all the energies and this and that. Didn't know anything. Didn't know how to break a fast properly. Didn't know a lot of things. But what I can tell you is 30 years ago, even 30 years ago, people were not as toxic as they are today. Today, we're way more toxic from what I've experienced with people, way more than what I was back then. And that was pretty toxic because there's way more chemicals, way more everything in the environment and so on and so forth than there was back then. So it was a great learning experience. The juice is such a powerful stripper. The body needs to have its energy channels open and flowing while you're in a fasting state. That is the key. That is why we use the tools we use, the herbs, all the tinctures, and the plasma pudding. They are all very important and vital. They all work synergistically together to keep that body, the channels open and energy and things flowing. That's why we're so adamant about washing the colon. Even though I was doing enemas back then, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. The body, kidneys went into spasm and locked up, and it was it was a wonderful, amazing, miserable pain experience. That's all I could say. To get me out of that with no knowledge, and no internet, no nothing to find any answers, just a book and going around trying to find people to give me an answer. And nobody had an answer for me. It was years of trial and error to come out of that and find our way to what MFS is today. My kidney problem, I didn't solve it, Dance, until about when I started actually the dry fast. I started the dry fast the beginning of 20, no, what is it? 20, no. When did I start dry fasting? It was before I laid out the master fast. And once I started the dry fasting, then I started seeing some things happening with the kidneys. And then I ended up doing my my first 12-day dry fast when I was in Italy. That's when my kidneys completely switched. They opened up and released like I've never seen. Sand came out. It was literally sand coming out of my urine. I showed the video. It was just like unreal. And that's when the whole thing, I just lit up with a whole different download, and it was amazing. Like I said, we've learned a lot in the last 5 years with so many people doing Master Fast. And safety and effectiveness is very, very important. I've seen one too many people going to a hospital and stuff for doing stupid things, and we don't need any of that. You don't want to follow it, go on your own. Go do whatever you want to do. I don't want to hear you. Don't tell anybody Master Fast. It's not Master Fast. If you're not following this protocol, it's not Master Fast. That's where we're at now, because we have a whole new understanding of what's out there. I don't care what's out there anymore. We're in this realm, and this is what we work with. It works, it's safe, and it's effective. We've pulled people from the worst of the worst with this protocol. The worst of the worst. I've not seen anybody worse than Marin's case. I've not seen anybody in a worse state. 4 years of chemo, 4 types of cancer, 20 plus surgeries. I haven't seen anybody pull themselves out of that. You know? And he's got a good, decent life now, you know, compared to where he was in a wheelchair, ready to die. It was the only reason he survived 4 years of chemo. He was drinking straight lemon juice, 2 liters of lemon juice a day. That's why he survived chemo. He said he couldn't eat. No kidding. You're putting all that chemo. And if you listen to his story, his mattress, he had to end up throwing it out because it was all black stuff oozing out of him. And it stunk up his mattress. He couldn't get rid of the smell. He got to throw the sheets out, everything. When he was started doing the Master Fast. That's the power of Master Fasting.
2 liters of straight lemon juice?
Yeah. And listen to his interview. It's amazing. It's amazing.
What's his name?
Marin, M-A-R-I-N.
Do you think that he'll ever come back and do another interview with you guys?
I told him whenever he's ready, but it's up to him.
That would be great to find out how he is now.
Yeah, people come, people go. You know, people want to keep track with, stay in touch with us. They do. If they don't, they don't.
I mean, yeah, we do approach for sure. I did approach him a couple of times, but
it would be nice if people stayed in touch so you can see what they're doing, because to see how people are, are corresponding in life with this type of lifestyle and where they've gone. A lot of people have gone up, back to whatever they're doing before or worse. Some people have improved themselves dramatically. A lot of people that, weren't working, were bedridden, or, eating, fruits and veggies now and doing great. And so there's a different path for each and every one of us. But we know what works. We know it works. And we'll keep refining it as we learn more through everyone's experiences.
I'm very good friends with a very good friend of Marin's, Marinella. You guys know her because she's in Toronto.
Marina loves my client. This is how I met. This is how
Yeah,
I.
yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who asked me about Marina. If there's anything we can do, I said.
Mm-hmm.
What
So
else?
we can maybe ask her to ask for another interview.
All is
Yeah.
well. It's I like, how much more proof do people need? How many more interviews do people need? Seriously. That's if just with Maureen's case, if you have this understanding, you don't need to list anything else.
I enjoy the interviews.
Sorry?
I enjoy the interviews.
No,
because
we love them. We love people sharing.
everyone has such a different take.
It's never enough.
experience.
I'm just saying people are waiting for what? They're not looking, people are waiting for more proof. It's not more proof. They just are not ready to commit. That's all it is. You know, for whatever reason, they're just not ready to commit. It's we would love everybody, you know, doing an interview of their experience. Sure, we put it out there. You know, when you're ready, come and share your experience, whatever it is. And so people can they may resonate with one person more than another. That's why we keep doing the interviews. Much less now because we're not focusing on people doing long level 7, but
I mean, we focus on people who are doing any level really. So anybody who's doing any level, even level 2, please come. And
we have amazing,
please share. You know, we love to interview you.
There's amazing stories. People doing one of the levels. Lots of amazing stories.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lifestyle. This is the thing with the levels. It's a lifestyle, and so it's a commitment for a long time. Whereas with 108, it's just 108 days. You know?
It's the wrapping the head around to as a lifestyle to fast and eat, fast and eat, fast and eat. That's the challenge. That's the
a
challenge.
massive challenge.
Yeah. People look at it as an event. They're going to do a fast and they're going to do whatever after.
If you see people who are, you know, on the master fast for at least, you know, 2 years, some of them 1 year or more, you know, these people are really transforming, who are sticking here with us. And like Steve, has it been 1.5 years now, right?
People,
Steve?
Yeah, there's people who come here with agendas, right? They come here, take all the knowledge, then they go out and do their own thing. We've seen that one too many times. It's you know, it's the way it is. People have agendas, so that's why we don't hear back from a lot of people.
Yeah, like they.
You know, a lot of people come here with no jobs. It's like they're looking for jobs or something. I don't know. It's a really strange place. It's always been like that. The alternative health, because I've been at it a long time. Even when I was selling ocean water and teaching wheatgrass there, everybody's always looking for something to make money. I don't know. It's just like a really weird thing. Instead of focusing on the soul, peace, balance, correct conduct, they come with agendas. And those are the people that you know what I mean, are going to have the biggest challenges in their lives, because that's not what we're about. We're about focusing on peace, balance, correct conduct solely and exclusively, as much as we possibly can, to bring humanity into the state of peace, balance, correct conduct. There's no other agenda here. You know, we haven't done anything except the word of mouth pretty much these 5 years. That's it. There's nothing else we've done. People's experiences. That's how Massive Fast grew.
Yeah.
And,
So people who have been sticking around for 1 year or more, you know, doing the levels, I would say these are these are the ones that we want to listen to, not the 108-day people who we have. Yeah, we have interviewed so many 108ers, and you know what, like they have transformed before our eyes, and like you can go back and look at their at all their posts, you know, and their transformations. I mean, they're feeling the best ever, you know, when they're on the master fast, feeling the best they have ever felt, and so they could not share. They had to share. It had to come out. But I would say if you really want to know the real story, listen to the ones who are living it and loving it. Yes, we fall, and it's okay.
Listen to Elaine's story. She was bedridden. She's down not far from us. She's a teacher. She was bedridden for basically for a few years. She was thinking of going on permanent disability. She's back at work and doing things that she didn't think that she would ever do again. She's sticking with the levels. I don't know what she's on now. Level 3. She did, I think, originally a 30 or 40 day, and then she went into level 2, 3, and she struggled a bit, after the 30, 40 days, and now she's thriving. She comes on the Zoom calls every once in a while.
Diane has been with us for what,
Diane, yeah.
3-4 years, and she's living level 3 or 4, I think. I mean, it's amazing to see the humbleness of these people. She's happy and fine at level 3, 4, I think 4 now, and she is like updating her post once in a while and saying how she's feeling better and better and better. It's so deep.
It's
she's
amazing
amazed.
when you see people for a few years on how their understanding expands more and more and more. It's just beautiful to watch, because then they start talking from what they've learned through their experience, and it's awesome. So that's what it's all about. Living and loving it.
Yeah. Kurt is another one. I have to say, Kurt, thank you so much. You have been really doing your best to, is he around? No. Doing his best to follow the protocol at the beginning. You can tell he really read it. He's following it. He's not questioning it. Yes, sure, he fell here and there. And he's saying here, I feel if you force anything, the snapback always happens worse. Personal experience. And that's completely true, I'm happy. It's so nice to see him around, even though he's falling. I fell many times. Let's stick together and support each other through this.
See, the thing, when you've done this for a few years, several years, the thing about fasting and eating, it's not going to shock you like it does when you first experience it. You're going to understand it because you've done it so many times, and then you get used to it. But then you're going to have to make the choice, how to minimize it and how to stay on the better feeling levels, instead of plugging yourself up and having to go through that again. That's all it is, and you're going to have to make that decision. Nobody can make that for you. But it's all wonderful and all dandy. Where are we at? Oh, geez, we're at 10:20 almost.
Let's do the meditation.
Yeah, anybody up for a meditation?
Yep.
I can keep going all night, but
I can't stay, but I just wanted to say goodnight and
thank you.
Well, thank you. It was very, very fulfilling this evening. So
it's always a blast to have everyone, join in and discuss things. This is what it's like. I can't be talking all the time. I've done enough talking.
Lisa,
we need everybody else's experience.
Let's hear your updates next time, Lisa.
Okay. We'll talk. Good night.
I'm going to say goodbye to everyone as well.
All right.
It's London time, and I need my beauty sleep. It's 3:20 in the morning.
Awesome.
I can't wait to share my experiences when I'm finally on MFS, living it and loving it. So until next time, guys, thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thanks
night.
very much. Bye. Good night.
All right, so everybody get comfortable who wants to meditate, and close your eyes, focus on the breath. Keep the breath shallow through the nose, out through the nose. Drive the breath deep into the groin area. A very low volume, shallow breaths. Not shallow, but low volume. And with each breath, every muscle becomes more and more relaxed. We have more awareness of the fields around us, interacting with us. Now that we're in a deep, relaxed state, we can go on a journey anywhere we like. This time, let's go to a beautiful beach on the ocean. Any ocean, any beach you choose. I'm going to take a trip back to Italy, in a place called the Black Sand Beach. It's in Matera, Italy, in the southern part on the west coast. And the reason it's called the Black Sand Beach is because it's literally black, but it's not sand. It's all black stones. And the water is pristine, clear. You can see right to the bottom. And the first time you take your sandals off, you're going to be in for a big surprise, because those stones are very hot. And they will burn your feet if you're not used to it and stand on them too long. So we'll use our sandals till we get to close by to the water. And it's early in the morning. The sun is just rising up from the horizon. Beautiful, clear, crystal water. Very warm. 27 degrees. Slight breeze blowing through our hair. Beautiful, fresh air. We're standing by the shore. Water is very calm. And it's time to jump in. So take our sandals off and walk into the water. It gets deep pretty quick, so you don't have to walk for too far to jump in. Just dive in when you choose and feel the beautiful fields of all those elements. All 90 plus elements are sitting in a perfect harmony in ocean water. If you look at their profile, compare it to human blood or any other blood, it's almost identical, the mineral to mineral ratio. And they dance and sing in that ratio throughout all the oceans and seas on the planet. Some mystical energy keeps that wonderful balance in the ocean, as well as in our blood. There's no separation. We are one. The blood that flows through our veins is attached to the emotion of man. And every breath we take It's attached to our physicality and our lymph system, which gives us our physical energy. And we're floating in the beautiful ocean water on our backs, looking at the sun rising. Ocean water's awesome because you float effortlessly, very buoyant from the salts. And every time we enter a body of water, we can feel the fields of our auric energy being cleansed and washed and being brought back to balance by the water, the beautiful mystical water. The temperature of the water is beautiful, just slightly cool. The sun's coming up higher and higher, shining its warmth. And if we go back in our memory, from when we were in our mother's womb, we were sitting, swimming in a pool of water. Nine months, the mystical, magical 9, divine 9. The number pops up everywhere in creation. Just think of the bodies of water of the planet as the womb of Mother Earth, where we can go back and bring ourselves back to balance. Not only are we washing our auric field, but as you know, walking barefoot keeps us grounded to the earth. And same thing happens in the body of water, but at a much faster pace. That's why it's so beneficial to use water for cleansing and washing. Ocean water is very mystical, magical. Every drop of ocean water has approximately 20,000 different bacteria that we know of, that we can see with our microscopes. But as vast as the universe is outwards, it's the same going inwards. The more we dissect, the more depth is revealed. As we dive deep within the abyss of our soul, the reason there is no end is because we continue to create. As we move inwards, we expand outwards. And creation continues to create, which we are a part of. And just think of all those minerals, all those elements in the ocean water. They all, within each and every single element, contain all the knowledge of all the universes. Because they are too souls and are connected with creation, cannot be separate. Let's elevate the soul of Mother Earth and the bodies of water, that they too may be able to be treated with peace, balance, and correct conduct from us as humanity. Communicating with the spirits of the water and the earth, we are sorry for all the things that we have done to them as a human race, and hope that they can forgive us, because the new understanding has been revealed that we can no longer sustain ourselves continuing on that path. And the sun is going higher and higher as it's rising. And we're floating on our backs, totally relaxed. Now we take a deep breath and we dive into the ocean, underwater, swimming underwater, crystal clean. We can see everything. And as we're diving deeper and deeper, we come to face to face with the dolphin. And the dolphin is communicating with us through the fields. And there's a knowing of creation within that beautiful dolphin. And the dolphin is sending us information of a beautiful planet where humans and animals are living in perfect harmony, singing, dancing. No more killing, no more wars. dolphin communicates that this is the future if you choose. And he swims off. As we come back to the surface slowly, moving up, we break through the water and take our deep breath. The sun is still shining beautifully as we swim back towards the shore. Put our sandals on. Dry ourselves up. And we head back where we started. Back into our physical body. Start wiggling our toes, our fingers. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we're back.
See you next Saturday.
All right, Aranka. Ciao.
Night, Aranka.
See you, everybody.
Good night, Jim.
Good night. Good day, wherever you are.
Yeah.